stating about tomorrow that you're not going to be on in your slot.
Mm-hmm.
And she was just voicing her disapproval on the management and their decision to bump you and
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to WJOB. It is 6:02 in the morning. This is Dan Repay. We don't have a name. We'll still never have a name. Even when Joe leaves, I'm not going to have a name to my morning program. But this is Jim's best business model in the world. He allows people to come in for free. He gets paid advertisement to pay fees to do it, and we get to wake up early so he can basically hit his snooze button a little bit later, and so he can come in around 7:30 and cause disruption. So I thank Joe here for waking up early, getting everything situated for us here this morning. It seems like winter has come back, at least when I walked out this morning. I'm going, I mean, it was, Monday? I was in short sleeves, and yesterday, it was a cool breeze off the lake, and I had some visitors from Indianapolis, and they're like, why is it so cold? I said, well, there's a large body of water just north of us that is causing all that cold. They're like, they've, I guess, never visited us during the good old time of fall or when we get the north wind. So anyways, we're here today. I apologize. I think I was supposed to be here 2 weeks ago before election, and we were going to talk about some things, but unfortunately I got bumped because of political talk, and I know you like talking about politics. I don't mind talking about politics. The way our format is, at least on this show, and I'm doing it alone for the most part, is you could talk about basically whatever you want, and we'll discuss. We may agree, may disagree, but it's always something. It's basically an open mic. Traffic is important. Two things that are that I know that are occurring in the near future. Well, one's occurring today. If you're in Munster, White Oak is closed between Main and 45th. So if you're used to traveling that area to go the cut through to the end around to get through Indianapolis Boulevard, don't take White Oak. NIPSCO is doing work. And then a project that I'm affiliated with the Little Calumet River Basin. By the way, I am speaking only for myself here on this, but I can tell you that there's an issue with the Little Calumet River. Kennedy Avenue will be down to one lane in each direction beginning Tuesday after Memorial Day. So enjoy the 2 lanes in both directions currently that you experience on Kennedy Avenue, because starting Tuesday after Memorial Day, that will be down to 1 lane, and that construction will last the entire summer. Good for us. So 20,000 cars are going to have to fit into a more narrow passage. And then, they'll stop, and then it's a 2-year project. So they'll do it again next year for all those people that missed it. So we have to do the west side of the bridge first, then the east side for utility purposes. But there's your traffic update. And
I will. No, this was a great segue. I'll take over the traffic and weather from here. There was an accident on the Bishop Ford west of I-83. It was reported at 5:14 this morning, so it was backed up a lot earlier, probably around like 5:45 when I was first checking this out. It seems to have gone down a little bit, but it's like right at the entrance of 94, so keep that in mind. And then just 94 west, more up into Chicago, is already starting to get backed up, as well as the Stevenson Expressway heading north. But other than that, Traffic seems all right this morning, so keep that in mind. As for weather today, as Dan said, it is colder for some reason. You're getting a little bit of a cold front. So it's going to be a high of 63, but a real feel of 68. It's going to be sunny. There's going to be a couple clouds, so that's what's going to make the heat go up. But it's still going to be relatively cold. Friday, it's going to stay kind of the same. It's going to be a high of 66, a real feel of 65, with a lot of clouds and a passing shower or two in the afternoon. And then the weekend is, again, much of the same. On Saturday, it's going to be some passing showers with a high of 67 and a real feel of 66. And then Sunday is when things finally start to look like summer. The rest of the next week will look like summer, but Sunday specifically will be a high of 75 and a real feel of 78, and it's going to be very warm. So enjoy that or I guess don't enjoy the weekend because it's only going to get better after.
Some people enjoy
Sunday.
the cool weather. I mean, look, some people really enjoy the cool weather. I really don't like the super hot weather, but it's just the back and forth. It's like I said, I think it was 80 some degrees on Monday. I know, was it Saturday or Sunday was pretty warm. It seems unusually windy this time of year. For whatever reason, I can't catch a day without the wind. But, the travel is going to pick up. We have Memorial Day this weekend. And by the way, you should thank all those and be thankful for those that gave their lives for this country. And along with that, people tend to go to different places. You'll see the traffic pick up here on 94, people going to Michigan, people cutting across the country. So I'm assuming, starting probably later on this afternoon, people are going to start maybe taking an early exit from their jobs and maybe taking an extended vacation or relaxation. So thank you to or remember those on this Memorial Day. That is important. That's why we get to do what we do here, and that's why we can disagree and we can still somewhat try to be friends, although in the current environment, I don't know, like sometimes people will take it way entirely too personal and they refuse to be friends with you if you believe a different way than they do. But that's not how I was brought up. So we can agree to disagree and we can still laugh at each other later on about some other things, especially, like Cubs and Sox. Are you into the Cubs Sox thing, Joe, or no?
I'm a Yankees fan.
Oh, that's right. I forgot you're one of those.
Yeah.
But you're from the East Coast, so I get it sort of. I still don't understand maybe why you're not a Red Sox fan.
Because the Red Sox suck, and my dad.
Well, there you go.
It just the teams my dad liked. I just inherited them, but I do. It's weird for me because where I used to live in Illinois is probably about 45 minutes to an hour northwest
What
of
city
Chicago.
was that in?
Most people growing up, I was
Flip it to yourself. I mean, you're only, but we're going to talk about that later. But go ahead.
You're right. I was a Cubs fan, kind of as a secondary team, just because I lived in the area. I would support the Cubs. Obviously, 2016 was a great time to be alive as a Cubs fan, right?
Yeah.
But then when I moved down here, obviously more people are Sox fans, and I could honestly care less. But I have attended more Sox games than I have Cubs games
Because they're easier to get to.
They're easier to get to.
Although the atmosphere up in the Cubs, by the way, I'm a Sox fan, so.
I've been to more bar crawls in Wrigley than I've been to baseball games.
That's pretty easy to do up there.
Yeah.
So it's funny that you say Boston. I went to Boston. My son graduated from college or a master's degree up in Boston. So I enjoy Boston. Boston's, by the way, expensive. I don't know if that's all East Coast thing, but
I'm a Celtics fan.
Are you?
Mm-hmm.
What disappointment?
Disappointing.
We're going to talk about anything, so it's fine.
The
Until
problem
everyone wakes up here about 7.
Yeah, the problem is I get really mad talking about the 76ers.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I wasn't impressed by them, but somehow they managed it, and you knew they were going to get their.
I knew Game 7 was over when Jason Tatum decided to sit out for. I don't know.
But do you think he sat out, or do you think because they were worried about the strain that it could have caused some other issues?
No, I'm
going forward.
I'm sure.
I mean, he's not cheap.
No, he's not. But it's a Game 7. I'm putting it on the line. I don't know. That's me personally. Maybe it's it's not my money, so I guess I can't be,
Well, you're a fan, so it sort of is. Kind of. You're paying the ticket prices. You're paying. I mean, look, I can't believe some of the. I mean, good for them. Not hating, but some of the salaries that some of these guys are getting, I'm going, wow. I mean, I'm not a Cubs fan, but I will tell you, I know a lot of Cubs fans, and they're going through some things right now with PCA and all his.
Don't even get me started. I hate that guy, dude. Did you see what happened the other day when he muffed the ground ball through center?
That was his last night.
Yeah.
What about the fact that, and by the way, I don't agree with fans, starting to talk and say stuff to players.
I love it.
I don't.
I love it.
I mean, look, it's not like I haven't yelled at someone before, but it's like, that's, if you've been to Sox Park, so you know how close that is. And that woman said something to him, and he said something to her that probably wasn't great. And but I will tell you, I was listening. I didn't see the play in question, but I had a meeting late last night, and I was listening to sports talk radio in Chicago. And boy, I'll tell you what, they turned on him pretty quickly. They're like that he needs a day off. The Cubs are out of the top 10 left on base batters. 4 of them were on the Cubs, and I'm going, look, I'm used to miserable baseball as a Sox fan. Like I was the sicko that would go, and I went actually to 2 straight games, waiting for them to set the all-time record and the amount of losses. I think it was 121, and of course the 2 games that I went to, they won. I just wanted to be a part of history where they wanted to fire Reinsdorf and fire everybody else. But so I'm used to bad baseball, although the Sox took 2 or 3 from the Cubs, which I'm really super excited about because it gives me sort of bragging rights until they have to go to Wrigley later on this summer. But it's my whole thing with paying people that much money up front. I mean, what he just signed.
Yeah, some ridiculous deal.
And now it's like, look, everyone has a bad day. You have a bad day at work. I have a bad day at work. We're never up to 100%. But from what I understand, that play that was like a ground ball.
Oh, it was like, it wasn't even like a tough hop or anything. Like, he just clearly wasn't looking at the ball. Like, he was trying to look at the base runners while he was fielding the ground ball, and it went under his glove.
Yeah, that's a tough one as a former coach of Little League Baseball. I think that's pretty much what you do. I mean, you try to. Oh, yeah. I get it. They're trying to make the play, try to gun the person down either at third or home. But number one thing is, if you don't have the baseball, you can't really do much with it. So, yeah, we can cover all the sports. It seems as though, and the talks about the Bear Stadium, and I know people talk about it, and people are like, the Hammond thing is just a ploy. I still will contend the latest comments, and I'm not sure if you watched, but you saw the governor of Illinois and the mayor of Chicago basically fighting over why the stadium isn't in Chicago. And the mayor of Chicago is still the mayor of Chicago. He still has a lot of political control, and he's got representatives that represent Chicago. And there's some argument as to why Chicago kind of would have been, when I say Chicago, I say Chicago proper, meaning the city of. They sort of get left out because if you just put it up in Arlington Heights, then there is no chance in any way that they're more than likely will have workers or people that will go up there. And quite honestly, from an Indiana side, I love watching it. It's funny to watch because they were all playing nice in the sandbox, and now all of a sudden the deadline is starting to come up on them. And, the mayor's like, well, I think there's a problem with both stadiums, and I still think downtown is the right thing. And then the owners had their meeting earlier this week, and you saw the commissioner say, look, there are 2 sites. There is Arlington Heights and there is Hammond. So they're going to have to choose between one of those 2. I don't think, Soldier Field is ever going to be an option. Maybe they should have put that on the option table, early on a few years ago. But at this point, if you believe what you read in the paper or in social media, not all social media is correct, but trusted sources, you will see that, look, these are the 2 options. Like it or not, some people that want to, and I'm not, look, of course, I think it would be awesome for Hammond to get it. There are people that are against Hammond getting it because they believe Indiana's putting too much money into this game. And that's what typically every darn city does to get to get a professional team. As explained to me, there's not many companies that are worth $3 billion, and the Bears are one of them. And there could be some ancillary improvements to the surrounding area. What do they come? I hope they do. Maybe not. But I just think you see the political infighting now because the elections are over in Illinois. So now the real issues are coming out and people got to get elected. Pritzker wants to be president. Brandon Johnson wants probably to be the mayor again for another 4 years. And I think he's up and coming. So, it'll be interesting to watch. I still think Indiana's in a great position. They put what they had on the table. They said, this is what our deal is. And they let the folks from Illinois fight it out. And, I still think it's Illinois' to lose. I don't think they want to go to Indiana if all but possible. But if Illinois fumbles it, no pun intended, and it seems like there's something going on. I'd love to be in one of those rooms. It appears as though that would be a possibility, and that's how Hammond then could come in and take the save. I think from a Indiana perspective, I get we won't talk the financial side of it, but from just a coolness standpoint, I could tell all my college roommates that now my my old hometown was home to the Bears, so that is cool. One thing going forward at 7:30, we are going to have someone call in with respect to data centers, and specifically the opposition to the one in Hobart. And data centers is like the fad. We talk about a bunch of little fads here going on, but I specifically we reached out and I wanted to talk to them. Like the big complaint is they don't have an opportunity to talk about why they're opposing it. I mean, I know some about it. I've read up on data centers, and I think data centers is important to talk about because it's a local issue. Hammond has 2, I believe, data centers, and they've done a wonderful job with that. Hobart currently has an opportunity to get a data center, which is financially for them a windfall. And there are some other, my understanding, positive aspects of that. And then you see also in South County, they're going through data centers. And so now you've got Portage, they're going to do an ordinance and making sure everything. I think data centers personally, just what I think it's easy to jump on the bandwagon of against them, but I'm very curious as to what the opposition is and sort of we could talk about it. And so my whole point is in this conversation, and I don't know if it's an interview because I'm not a professional interviewer, but is to sort of talk about the issues, what it is and what it isn't, and what can be said. It's difficult to necessarily ascertain the position of anybody when you just look at it from a newspaper article, or if you go on one person's website, they're always going to have a slant. So hopefully the caller will be able to sort of talk about it and discuss their opinions on it. And I want to ask questions myself. I'm not a Hobart resident. I believe this is a Hobart issue. So anybody outside of, quote, Hobart on this specific matter should probably just hang to the side. But, there's always people that want to get involved. But I just want to talk about it specifically because it involves the region and it involves our area. And then and maybe if I can get some people on that could rebut it, it would be a good discussion point. And so something that we could all learn from as opposed to just guessing at what it is. So I have to go back to Joe. I'm late to the party. Congratulations. I know you don't want to make this about you, but while we're talking about sports, I do want to talk. You told me, and I'm sad, that you're leaving. And I didn't hear you on the last half hour at the program because I was in a meeting that was yesterday. But tell everybody now that is waking up at 6:20, preparing their day for work, what are you doing? Where are you going?
Yeah, so I think most people know by now because they were all yelling at me last weekend as well. Well,
let me yell at you.
Because I had pushed back the date. Like they were like, "Hey," or I did the interview in person, and they're like,
"Who'd you interview with?" I'm gonna pretend like I'm doing the interview. Who'd you interview with?
The main guy's name is Jason Good.
At what company?
At ESPN.
All right. Well, not people are tuning in as I learned from Jim. People are tuning in all the time. So you did an interview with ESPN, the leading broadcaster in sports.
Yep, I did like 4 interviews with them. But yeah, eventually.
In person or virtual?
So the first one was with just like the recruiter. Then I only did 3. Then I did one on Zoom, and that was with a couple of like managers and other people on Zoom. And then after that, I went in person, and then I interviewed with like the same people but in person.
So you went to Bristol?
Yep, they flew me out. They put me in a hotel.
Nice.
It was really fun. It was a cool experience. The buildings were really nice. So then, after I did that, they said give us about a week, and then about like a week and 2 days later, they were like, "Hey, the recruiter emailed me, and she was like, "Hey, I'd love to talk to you. Is today or tomorrow like a good day?" And it was like 1:00. And I was like, tomorrow works better for me.
You're like, hey, I got a job for you, but I'm going to wait till tomorrow because I don't need the money. We're good.
I was nervous. But yeah, we waited until the next day, and she called me. She told me that I got the job and that everything went well, that they enjoyed my tenacity and my wanting to learn the role, I guess. And after that, I don't know. I just kind of freaked out for a little bit, I guess.
You should.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool. I mean, are you gonna be working just simply at the headquarters? Are you gonna go? Do they assume that you're gonna go on location to different? I mean, ESPN broadcasts a whole bunch of things. ESPN is affiliated with Disney, ESPN, right. ABC. So, no, I mean, is this just strictly?
So I will be I'll just be on site at headquarters. So I won't travel with anybody. I'm trying to think. Yeah, so the cool thing, actually, other than them being owned by Disney, is that they're like backups for ABC. So they used to have the station out in Bristol, but they moved to Texas. But now, I guess, if like anything happens, like, tornado or some crazy, I don't know, something happens to the ABC studios, we get attacked or something,
So Bristol's the safe place.
Yeah, it would eventually they just start sending everything to us, and then we would broadcast for ABC, which I thought was pretty cool. But yeah, well, I forgot the main point. I got kind of sidetracked. So the reason they were yelling at me is because once they gave me the job offer, they told me to look over like the insurance and all of the benefits and stuff like that.
Which is probably very new to you.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, I asked Leah, I was like, what is a good time for me to, respond back to you with an answer? And she was like, what about Monday? So we talked about it on air, and that was like Thursday, I think. So then the next day we talked about it, and everyone was pretty split as to whether or not I should have done it that day or I should have done it like on Monday.
Well, probably the recruiter really wanted you to do it that day because the recruiter gets a percentage of your salary as to finding you. Doesn't take it from you directly, but they get a finder's fee, which I had a similar experience to that when I was working in a recruiter called, and I don't even know if I'm surprised they still use recruiters, but the recruiter called and said, look, we have a job. Are you interested? It was at Arthur Anderson, which, by the way, doesn't exist anymore because of Enron. That's just a sore point with me. And so when I realized, we were negotiating salary at the time, and he's like, yeah, I can't do that because he was set at a certain range that he could negotiate for it. But I found out that that's how he gets paid, or he got paid. I mean, your recruiter probably maybe got paid similar, but is a percentage of their salary that basically ESPN pays them, or if they hired someone separately to find people, which is cool. I mean, that's the way it is, and it's even cooler. Did you apply for ESPN? Did they come out to you?
I applied to it,
and then they basically went through and did initial interviews. I'm sure the recruiter asked you some questions, whether you'd be even interested. I mean, I'm assuming you would be interested since you applied.
Right. Yeah, there are like certain things like I'm going to be stuck on overnights for a little while. I've been complaining about that as well.
Well, what would you rather do? Overnights or do 5 a.m. when you come here?
No, yeah. I mean, 5 in the mornings aren't bad, but there are ways to adjust your life around it. I'm not too worried about it. It's not like I won't have a life or anything like that. No. Maybe for a little bit, but
you're going back home, which is, I think, the cool thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll be able to cheer for the Yankees, although, you may still be in enemy territory up there in Connecticut, but
well, it's pretty split.
Really?
Yeah. Well, it's so where my parents live, it's like an hour train ride to New York in New York City, but from where ESPN is probably about like an hour and a half, 2 hours to Boston. So my parents are on the south side of Connecticut, and then Bristol is kind of more north. So, I mean, I'm a Yankees fan. That is what it is. The thing that I am excited about though, is that I'm a Cowboys fan, and I'm only a couple hours from Philadelphia, a couple hours from Washington, and I'm a couple hours from MetLife.
But I'm going to tell you, and I think we talked about this before, I've been in Philly when the Cowboys were in town. Philly fans, and I know you don't like them. We had this discussion before, but Philly fans are different. Like, I was a Sox fan. I went to go watch a Boston Red Sox game, excuse me, at Fenway. Nice people. Little bit strange accent, but nice people. Philly fans are about to have it out with some Cowboy fans.
That's fine. We can have it out then.
I love it.
We can have it out then. That's fine with me. Honestly, I probably hate the Packers more than I hate the Eagles. Well, the Packers have knocked the Cowboys out of the playoffs in dumb fashion, and I'm only saying that 5 times because I can't use any other words.
I got in trouble when I used a word here on this one.
I've slipped up too, so I got to be careful.
That's all right. You're gone pretty soon. It doesn't matter what they're going to do, fire you?
Yeah, right. But yeah, like Dez's catch, James Jones toe drag on the sideline. Like there's too many moments to count. I mean, we got our butt kicked by them like 3. Dak almost went for MVP and then had 48 points dropped on his head in the first round of the playoffs.
Boy, this cuts deep for you.
No, it does. I hate the Packers, dude. I really do hate them more than I hate. Like even Philly. Like, yeah, they won a Super Bowl, whatever. Yeah, they're division rivals. We always get one out on them at least. We could be 3-14, and one of those wins will be the Eagles. I promise you.
I love it. I mean, it's 6 o'clock and we're having a discussion about sports, but we're going to have a discussion about things. I got some things that we're going to talk about, and after the break when we take a short break here. But we'll get into more other fun activities and things that bother you, and feel free to call us 845-1100. But right now we're going to go to a break and take some commercials and do some weather and traffic.
Medical excellence and compassionate care. Everything we do, everything we believe, powers health.
Ogren Insurance, Hammond's oldest family-owned independent insurance agency, now in its 3rd generation providing clients in the Chicago area with products from quality insurance companies to handle your every need. Regardless of driving history, Ogren Insurance can find the right coverage for you at competitive prices. To learn more about the insurance solutions and services we offer throughout Indiana, Illinois, and Michigan, call 219-933-0076 or visit our website, ogreninsurance.com. We're located at 6929 Homan Avenue in Hammond, Indiana. Do business locally with someone you know and trust.
And welcome back, everyone, to the morning show. I guess we're going to do the morning show with Dan. It is 6:33 on Thursday, the 21st of May, and you're just hanging here with me and Joe, and we were talking about sports for the first half hour while everyone wakes up and gets ready for their morning. We've hit everything from Bears to Cowboys to Joe leaving and going to ESPN, which is congratulations if you haven't heard that, and I will miss you because I bring the strawberry refresher to help you out in the morning. And I'm glad. I'm glad I could help. And we were talking about the Bears Stadium really quick, and during the break, and Joe was checking on some things. I just checked an NBC5 report that basically said, and I'll paraphrase, is that with 12 days left to go in this legislative session for Illinois, the mayors around Arlington Heights want a traffic study before any representatives will vote for this, supposedly, allegedly. So with 12 days left, they now all of a sudden say, well, we want a traffic study because of the increased traffic and we won't vote. Well, that's important, and traffic studies you just can't pull those out of a hat. There's a whole lot of things, and they're probably looking for some additional revenue for some of their interchanges, but it's just wild. I mean, I am more familiar with Indiana politics, but in the dynamics of it, because usually it comes from Indianapolis and goes outward as far as the power and strength. But it's just interesting for me to see Arlington Heights. I mean, they're basically, they have this opportunity, and they're now infighting over a traffic study that probably should have been done, I would guess, a few years back, probably when Chicago or the Bears purchased Arlington Heights. So anyways, I just found that amusing when I was just scrolling through the different news reports. And if that's true, I just don't see lacking a miracle that they're going to pass anything in Illinois for this thing, which would be probably detrimental to their long-term well-being to get a stadium. But anyways, another thing I saw last night, it was actually on the nightly news, and I'm curious as to people's opinion on this is, Joe, you go out to eat, right?
Of course. And
you go through drive-thrus and you've done all this stuff. Anyone get an order wrong? Like when you order something, like you ordered fries and it came back as a
cheese curd or something.
Yeah, something.
Yeah, of course.
Does it ever require you to go into the store and confront the workers, or do you just?
I just take it on the chin.
Okay, well, out of Fort Wayne, it's actually a sad story. 75-year-old woman allegedly goes into the Tim Hortons. So, did you see this or the Amber Alert?
Yeah.
I just saw that as well. We'll read it. Currently, there is an Amber Alert. It is out of Hammond. A
child abduction for a gray Nissan sedan with unknown Illinois plates.
Yeah. So if you have a gray Nissan sedan with unknown Illinois plates,
turn yourself in, or we're coming for you.
Or hey, if you see someone driving around with Illinois plates with a Nissan, I mean the interesting thing about Hammond particularly is they have what they call the blue net, and most cities now have it where license plate readers, they can punch the Nissan, a gray Nissan in, and it basically fills in all the times that a gray Nissan has passed the camera and what camera it touched. So you really can't, although there's one area we won't discuss, that you can't get in and out of Hammond without without your license plate being at least exposed to this blue net. And I'm probably not giving it as much justice as it should, but we had a discussion at our meeting last night about fly dumping and people, and we have cameras, but our cameras aren't that sophisticated. But if you can get a color of a vehicle and 4 doors, 3 doors, whatever the heck, how many doors you want to put on it, they can basically come and find where that was last seen. So if this Nissan was on the south side and they decided to leave out a robber sale, they'll be able to do it. So there was just an Amber Alert issued. Yeah, we just were talking about this, and So if you see Nissan, gray, Nissan, Amber Alert, we have a thing. We got a phone call? All right, someone's awake now. It's 6:39 here in the morning. Good morning, caller.
Hold on.
Good morning. Good morning. I was wondering about Joe's new job at ESPN.
Yes.
And where is that physically located?
It is in Bristol, Connecticut.
Ah.
The headquarters.
Yep.
He's going to the mothership.
Yes,
Ooh.
I am.
He doesn't like talking about himself.
Northwest Indiana?
I feel, I don't know, kind of indifferent about it.
He doesn't like talking about it, but I think it's really cool. And so here's his dilemma. He's originally from the East Coast. Your dad was correct here for a bit, and so was your mom.
Yep.
And they decided to move back. Mm-hmm. You went to school here. Well, you went in Huntley, but you also then went to Andrean.
Yep.
And I'm okay with that, by the way. I went to Bishop Knoll. We're still cool.
We're cool.
And so he made a living here, and now, he has an opportunity to go back.
It's a little more, I guess, complicated than that.
Well, I'm trying to simplify things, but go ahead.
Oh yeah, but I moved out here when I was 2, and I'm finally moving back. I'm an only child. It's been me, my mom, my dad, and then my dogs. So, to a certain extent, my friends to me have become my family because I just don't get to see my actual family as much. And obviously I love them and, they'll always be my family. But, my friends hold a special place in my heart as the people who have been around for me every day. So in that aspect, yeah, it's hard for me to leave. I am excited to go back home and, get to be with my family and, watch some of my younger family members grow up, especially some of the ones that I didn't get to see earlier because I was away, but now I can be there for some of the other ones. So I'm excited for that. But I mean, I spent most of my life in Illinois, but I had a lot of milestones out here. I graduated college out here. I graduated high school out here. I got my first, job in my field out here. So in that way, yes, I will miss it. I'll miss some of the people that live here. I won't say I'm a huge fan of a lot of them, but some of them are nice.
Come on. Let's talk about who you don't like.
Yeah, no, we won't get into that, but
yeah, let's get that list out there.
Well, I think it's awesome. He doesn't like talking about it. I think it's cool. This show is for everybody, and you celebrate good things. And this is a life event. And look, we're going to talk about graduation. I was going to talk about graduation later, but that's the big thing is people. You get opportunities, and I've known people that have moved away, that have come back, that have stayed away. But, I have friends that are in different places in this country, and it's actually an opportunity for me to go visit them because it's a place, it's a friendly face, it's someone that has experience. So maybe I would see probably is some of your friends here go, hey, look, I would like to go visit Bristol or go to Connecticut, and they would have no other reason to do it but for you, Joe. And so you're sort of you'd be the reason for them to see it, and you could show them your place. And so especially with technology today, I don't think friendships it's not as easy for them to go away. And I'm sort of thankful for Facebook, sort of, because some of my college roommates, some of my college friends, I graduated in the 90s, probably more than likely when I graduated in 96, people, we were just sort of like, yeah, well, we'll see, and never really intending. But now I have the opportunity to still, stay in contact with people. We didn't have, it was barely email at that time. I'm not saying I'm the Stone Age, but it's easier to be in contact still and still have the relationship with your friends that are here. Yeah, you may not be able to go to whatever bar or whatever place, but you still have that friendship, and that never goes away. Because I can tell you, I still give my college roommate all kinds of heck for you're wearing a Colts shirt, but he's a Colts fan and I'm Bears, so it's always fun. So
I don't think that one necessarily goes in your favor, though.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. But I tried. I got my small wins.
There you go.
But that's the story.
Have they told you exactly what kind of work you're going to do?
Yeah, so it's a master control. I mean, they haven't told me exactly what I'm going to do. They actually haven't given me any more details other than when I applied for it. But it's a lot of like commercial packaging, making sure you go to and from the show on time, making sure you're dealing with some on-screen graphics as well. I don't know exactly what graphics I'll be. I would be in charge of or anything like that. I will tell you guys that at first, you guys probably won't be seeing any of my work because they're going to be sticking me on the night shift on the Caribbean Cruise Line channel or the Caribbean channel. So it'll be
maybe I'm gonna go take a Caribbean cruise.
Yeah. If you want to go take a cruise and then watch some cricket or tennis or something like that for the first few months that I'm out there, then you will get to see what I'm up to. But other than that, they're gonna train me and I'll work my way up. But I know I got a great opportunity and I got to pay my dues. I'm totally aware of that. I'm totally fine with that. I understand that. So I'm excited to get started.
Well, see, there you go.
Of course, things are much more expensive in that part of the country. It's part of the New York orbit. And how do you feel about leaving the friendly Middle West behind?
Yeah, you're right. Everything is a lot more expensive, but I guess to the same extent, I'm also making probably triple what I made here. So,
which is zero,
which is like $2,000.
Wow, we just threw Jim under the bus. That's okay.
Yeah, but I'm also, it's where my family lives. So I don't think at first I'll be getting an apartment. I think I will. I'll be staying with my parents, trying to save up. My dad has been bringing up like my 401k and all of this other stuff that I need to start figuring out what it means and start planning and saving for my future. So, it's more and more common that kids are staying with their parents until their mid-20s, mid to late 20s. So, I mean, why not also take advantage of that, right?
Take advantage of the savings. Well, thank you very much.
Well, when my daughter graduated from college, she was a CPA and wanted to live in the Lincoln Park area. And she told me something like, "Hey, it's like a college campus." And I said, "Somebody's BSing you," because Lincoln Park has got crime problems like just about any place in that Chicago area. It just doesn't get the publicity because of the high value area kind of thing. I said, here's the deal. You can here's something else. As a junior accountant, you're going to be out there late at night. You may find a parking spot and you'll have to park a mile away, and then somehow get a mile late at night back to your apartment. So here's the deal: you stay with us, and it'll only cost you $100 a month, and you write the check to your brother who was at college, and save up and pay off your car because you're going to need a car and so forth. So she agreed, and life was pretty much as I predicted to her. She came home from work late at night, but she was able to come home to relatively safe Munster, and so she gave money to her brother and was able to pay off her car quickly, type thing. And so, given the economics of life for young people now, I'm not surprised at all that more and more young people are
it's smart. It's smart economically to do that. So we appreciate it.
We have another caller.
We got someone else. Thank you for the call here early. Go ahead. Do you know who this is or no?
I do not know, but okay. I thought it was something funny to bring up, I guess, real quick.
Okay.
He did bring up a valid point. Is my parents were thinking about looking for an apartment for me because two of my dog. Believe it or not, my mom wants me to get an apartment because of my dog, my 11-year-old dog.
Wow, she doesn't like dogs?
No, we have 4 of them.
Oh, okay.
2 of them my 11-year-old, the oldest, and then my youngest, who is about $130 and 2 years old.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
He's supposed to hit 170.
That's a
He's
roommate.
an absolute monster. Yeah, exactly. And so they like to fight. I've told the story a couple of times on here. He ended up putting a hole in my hand.
Ooh.
He's got one strike left.
Oh.
Yeah, so...
what kind of dog, really quick, before we get to the caller?
I don't even know exactly what he is. He's like just ginormous. He's some like American Bulldog mix.
Good for you.
Yeah.
My dogs are no more than 7 pounds, and no one's puncturing my hand yet, thankfully. So there's no strikes against them. They're just.
He didn't do it on purpose.
I understand.
I love him. He's very
understand.
lovable. He was. I mean, I'm sure he was trying to take my 11-year-old's dog head off, but it wasn't going for my hand.
You're equal weight with him, so you can go fight it out.
I'm
right?
a little heavier than him. I got.
Well, I mean, you're in the weight class.
Yeah, I am in the weight class.
You're in the weight class.
Yeah.
We're not saying you have to lose weight or anything like that. So.
But they want to get they want me to get an apartment out there, and so my mom's been doing some looking into that. But I told her, I was like, listen, if you want me to move out there, like, the nice thing is, like,
now you're
Bristol,
making demands.
Bristol is not like Lincoln Park, like there is nothing to do out there. I am not going out there, and you're not forcing me to live out there because of my dog, so that I can do absolutely nothing and stare at hay bales or something.
And by the way, the caller's previous thing, as far as like there's crime. Well, there's crime in just in urban areas. The only place there isn't crime is, and I'm not even saying that wouldn't even be the case. But like when you get the bedroom communities, but when you get urban, I mean, like I was in Boston. That's my most recent trip 2 weeks ago. I mean, yeah, there were things that weren't great. There were homeless people, and unfortunately, and it's sad, but that's a part of it. And by the way, talk about rent in Boston. I just looked for fun. He says, hey, for rent, apartment, 1 bedroom, it's like $4,000 a month. Mm-hmm. I'm like,
yeah,
who could do that? Evidently, some people can because they're getting the price, but. Anyways, did the caller hang out or did they leave?
They're still here.
All right, caller, let's talk because I still want to get back to the disagreement at the Tim Hortons Donut in Fort Wayne. So it's important. Caller, go ahead. You're on. It's 6:50 on Thursday, the 21st.
Good morning, caller.
Good morning. This is the lunch menu Dave, calling in from Evanston, Illinois, formerly of Griffith, Indiana, home where the Clodhoppers play, at least in the movie A Christmas Story.
Okay.
So, first off, Joe, congratulations are in order. Sounds like you'll be leaving the family, I guess, if you will.
Yep. Thank you very much.
See, this is 2 people that didn't know that you were leaving.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure.
Hey,
Jed wants to have me in as a guest.
I heard about you interviewing.
Okay, yeah. So you were there for part of the process. More than Dan was paying attention.
Yes, I heard about you interviewing for WWE, and I thought I heard you interviewing for something else somewhere along the way.
Yeah, I had one I had one that was in the works for NBC Sports. It hadn't started yet, so I wouldn't say that I was really anywhere close to that one. The WWE one I was a lot closer to getting, though, which was kind of sad. I was really excited about that position as well. So
I think I'd have lost respect for you if you went to WWE.
Well, WWE was a road position, so I would have got to travel with them. That's what I think was really more interesting. It's less hours, obviously less pay, but a different kind of experience. So either way, obviously I'm ecstatic to be with either one of those companies. So.
Yeah, kind of like the traveling circus, I suppose, huh?
Yeah, right?
WWE, that's probably what it would have been like for you, Joe, eh?
Yeah, I told them, I was like, if you guys ever need one of those backstage people to get thrown into like a wall or like through a table or something, like I'm your guy. Like I will do that in a heartbeat. Throw me through the ladder. I don't care.
I think I think 20-year-old
or
40-year-old you would probably have a problem with that.
I wonder if the Green Bay Packers fans will be requesting you now that you dumped on their team. You know what I'm saying?
Packers fans too. Come see me, man.
Especially if the WWE kind of goes through there. You know what I'm saying?
Packers fans. Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, but
well, in all regards, though, it sounds like you, the Cowboy fan, and a great number of the Chicago fans have a lot of the same things in common when it comes to Green Bay.
Oh, definitely.
Dislike them with a passion.
Definitely.
Dislike them with a passion. Oh.
All right. Well, what else you got for us this morning?
And as for me, planning to, and hopefully I'll get a chance to make it down back to Northwest Indiana this weekend, visiting hoping to catch up with my brother and some other friends. Gonna spend the Memorial Day weekend holiday down in my old neck of the woods, and then heading back up this way, like sometime during the day on Monday.
Good.
We'll be riding the South Shore, much to Chuck Poland's consternation, but it is what it is. That's how I get there if I'm not riding with my other brother that lives up here in Illinois. So.
Yeah, the South Shore. I think my wife and mother-in-law are taking the South Shore up to the city today. So best of luck. I get Chuck's thought on it. I mean, it is very expensive for the possible riders. Although it seems as though the first month went off well, and I mean, hopefully that keeps on expanding and we keep on taking advantage of it. I'm just afraid that first month is just sort of like the honeymoon phase, and then when everything else fits in. But well, what are you going to do? What restaurant are you going to go to? What's your go-to restaurant when you come back here to Northwest Indiana?
Me?
No.
Oh,
I want to call her.
You were staring right into my eyes.
I'm sorry.
So I was like,
I didn't know who to stare into. What's your go-to? You going to Shoop's? Mine are done. Where are we going?
Depends on what I got a taste for.
Well,
sometimes I do have a taste for Shoop's over in Highland, and sometimes I have a taste for Bridges Scoreboard.
Oh,
it just depends on what I have a taste for.
That's awesome.
Over in Griffith. And sometimes I'll even do breakfast at the Corner Cafe over in breakfast over by the Griffith Town Hall, too.
Yeah,
so
Main and Broad.
So
I've been there a couple times. Well, I appreciate it. Good luck, safe travels, and we appreciate the phone call. And we got to go to break here in 2 minutes, and Joe's looking at me, so we appreciate the phone call. Thank you. Once again, 845-1100. We have to take a short break. 7:30, we are having a person come on about the data centers and their opposition to it in Hobart. But right now, we're going to go to a break, and then we'll see you on the other side.
Boom.
Summer's coming, and Deep River Water Park is taking applications for all positions. We have jobs both inside and out for all ages that offer great benefits. Free admission on your day off for you and a friend. Free uniforms, paid training, make new friends, flexible scheduling, and more. To apply, just go to deepriverwaterpark.com and you're on your way to a summer of rewarding fun.
Deep River Water Park. It's simply splash-tastic.
From the gas in your car to the heat in your home and the roads that you drive on, our work powers daily life. We are USW Local 71, the proud men and women of the Whiting Refinery. We're not just refinery workers. We're your friends and neighbors, raising our families here, shopping in the same stores, and cheering in the same stands. USW Local 71, powering the region because we are the region.
Life's biggest challenges don't come with a warning. When legal issues arise, whether it's a car accident, personal injury, criminal charge, or representing you before municipal boards, you need a trusted advocate on your side. At Westland & Bennett, we listen first because your story matters. We provide strategic, personalized legal solutions to protect your rights, your freedom, and your future. Peace of mind starts with a conversation. Call 219-440-7550 today for a free consultation.
It's the simplest expression. The smallest thing that changes everything. A smile. So easy. A smile lights it up. Apologizes. And welcomes unconditionally. Because the shortest distance between two people is a smile.
Thank you.
Strachan Van Til, where making life easier starts with a smile.
welcome back, everyone, to what we'll call Dan in the Morning. It's 6:59, just before 7 o'clock on the 21st of May. We are going to go to Joe here for some traffic and weather, and we have to remind everyone about the Amber Alert that was issued out of Hammond for the gray Nissan, Illinois license plates unknown at the number, but if there is some issue there, if you see that vehicle or suspicious, please call the police. Joe, what you got here, weather, traffic, besides the Amber Alert?
Boom. Weather and traffic. Okay, actually, I stand a little bit corrected because 94 actually ended up clearing up right off the exit ramp after the accident. I thought that it was going to stay backed up just knowing how that road is. But it cleared up at least while you're heading into this, while you're early heading into the city, right when you cross the border. It will end up backing up, though, eventually as you get closer into the city. The Stevenson heading south and north, both backed up. The Eisenhower, though, that's where your real problems are. That is almost the entire Eisenhower is backed up from Chicago all the way through Lombard.
Ooh, bad accident.
So
I'm guessing
94 east and west. If you guys are traveling through Chicago, kind of closer towards O'Hare in that area, you will start to see more traffic is really backed up heading northwest, heading down into the city. So if you're heading that way up past the city, keep that in mind. That is it for traffic for right now. As far as weather, Thursday, May 21st, it's going to be a high of 63, real feel of 68. You're going to have a lot of suns and clouds today, but it still will be a little bit chilly with about 12 mile per hour winds. I just thought I should throw that one out there. Friday, high of 66, real feel of 65. Some passing showers or two in the afternoon. Saturday, it's going to keep passing over. The showers will keep passing over through the morning with a high of 67 and a real feel of 68. And then Sunday, it'll finally clear up and start to warm up for hopefully, I don't know why I keep saying this, like it won't go back down eventually, but hopefully it will stay up for the rest of the summer with a high of 75, a real feel of 78, and some clouds, but a lot of warmth. So keep that in mind. That is your traffic and weather. You really just need to get through this weekend with weather, and then hopefully everything
will be perfect from that point on. Just a little bit further from Region News Source, on the Amber Alert, there was a 6-month-old female, a black female. She's 22 inches tall. I don't think that's necessarily that important. With respect to, I don't think you're going to see this person, but the important thing is they're looking for a DeAndre Sobbs, who is a 31-year-old black male, 6'2", 208 pounds, and he is in a gray 4-door Nissan, last seen Thursday, so it was this morning at 4:20.
You say 6'2", 108 pounds?
208 pounds.
Oh, I thought you said 100. I was like, that guy.
No, he's not in your weight class. Yeah. He's more up into my weight class. So 6'2", 208, last seen 4:20 in Hammond. This was provided by Region News Source by the Hammond Police Department. So in the event that you see this gentleman or hopefully they're saying she's in extreme danger. So clearly must not be a friendly situation. Without, I guess, saying it lightly. So that's the important thing. You said we had a caller going in? We have 2 callers. I'm never going to get to my Tim Horton story, but that's all right. We'll take the call. What do you got, caller?
Good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Great. How are you?
Hey. All right. It's your show, but I'd like to talk to Joe for a moment.
It's your show. You can talk to Joe, but we have another caller, so you got to be brief.
Yeah, this is Trucker Mike. Joe.
Yeah, Trucker Mike.
It's been such a pleasure. It's since a pleasure listening to you. I seen when the day you started and how far you got. Jim Delo, the owner of the station, put you in there and guided you in the right way. A lot of listeners. All the listeners on JOB gave you a lot of advice, and you chose to do what you want to do. You know, that's the thing about you, Joe. I've watched, listened to you, seen what you had to go through. And you know what? I believe you're going to go in the right direction. And just think all of us listeners and all of the people that work at the station and all of us JOB people, someday we're going to see you on a big TV thing and think, we saw him start. You know, that's.
I agree.
I wish the best of luck to him because so many people on JOB, the listeners, gave him such good advice. And, he's, we got to give Jed big shout out because he's brought so many people in and left the station and went somewhere. And when you see that person up there on a big TV screen sometime, all of us can just say, hey, we saw that person start,
Yeah, we don't want to give Jed too much kudos, Trucker Mike, because then you'll never hear the end of it, right?
No, we got to, because he's trying to do the best with the station, but the thing is he gives these young people a chance to get their feet wet.
Yep.
And then they know how to get out of that swimming pool. They start swimming, they dog paddle, they swim, and then finally, they just get on a diving board and jump into a career and start their life, So good luck, Joe, and I love listening to the show, and that's about all I got to say. Is I just wanted to say, because I don't know if I'll hear or talk to Joe anymore, but
yeah, he'll be around.
You'll get me for another week. Thank you, though,
Trucker Mike. How are you feeling? On a side note, before we go to the next call, how are you feeling? Still doing good?
Oh, I'm feeling good. All my eye operations are done, so now I'm really keeping an eye on you guys. And everything's going good. I mean, it's just last July 9th is when the situation happened with me, and it's been almost over a year, and everything's finally back to 100% normal. I mean, it was a tough road,
but you're here.
The thing about me is when I was getting retired from driving a truck 44 years like Joe, he's getting a new career. I had two opportunities to go to that I was going to do, because I was going to retire, but I wanted to find something to do just to not be bored sitting at home.
Yep.
Well, I had one opportunity come up, and I just about signed the paperwork, and then that's when somebody offered me to do the teaching at the school. And you know what? I'm glad that I chose that, because now I just teach them, and I sit in the vehicles, and I take them to test, and I hear so many stories of, where these people came from, what chose them to drive a truck, what they're looking for. And I hear so many stories for the last 2 years of people coming to get a career into driving a truck, and so many stories of people, different nationalities, colors, race, and it's just wonderful to see how, some people, the family tried to get them into it, and then they just decided they wanted to get into it. It's like I say, it's wonderful. I'm going to let you go because you got callers.
Yeah, but it's okay. You got to do what you love. We're glad that you're feeling better, and that hopefully those eye procedures are helping put some hair on my head, make me look a little bit better.
Yeah, well, everybody out there have a good day, and all the listeners, just keep an eye on ESPN, because we're probably going to see Joe there.
There you go.
And we've had so many people from the station left and went somewhere. Like I say, we got to give WJ a big credit for what this owner of the station has done for these young people to go on with their life.
Well, thank you, Mike. We appreciate it, and Joe appreciates it too. We are going to go on to the next caller. See, you're all these new people that haven't known that. Like, I'm not the only person that didn't know that you were leaving. So,
and we have two more callers.
Oh, well, we got to roll through them then, because we got a 7:30 caller coming in. So.
Right. Oh, yeah, we do. I do want to point out real quick though.
Yeah.
As much as I am also probably the last person on earth that wants to give Jed too many flowers.
I don't do it.
I mean, I think at this point his resume speaks for himself.
Oh, jeez.
Right?
This is terrible. I'm going to have to live with him.
Listen, I just need people to know what he is capable of so that somebody can come and take my job.
He's a good dude.
So if you want to apply to do something similar to what I'm doing, email me or email Adriana. It's either of our first names, either Joe or Adriana at WJOB1230.com.
You're going to be a recruiter now. I like it. You're changing it.
I have to do something, right? Got to have somebody come in and do these sports updates once I'm gone.
Extra income.
Yeah.
All right. Take whatever caller you want. We're going to go. We've got about 20 minutes before we got a break, and then we got a caller about data centers. Go ahead, caller.
You were on the air.
Hey, Dan, you probably know more about it than I do. I've been doing a little research. That data center that they want to do in Hobart, is it on 61st in Colorado on the south side of 61st?
It's about that area.
Okay, and they just built all them real nice homes right on the north side of that area, I believe. Correct?
Yeah, it's. I think I don't know if it's north, but it could be. I'm getting directions
on
in my
the north
head,
side
east.
of 61st.
So yeah, we're going to find
yeah.
out more about that. And hopefully, I don't know how we're going to do logistically, if we're going to be able to take calls. But I'm curious as to their dissent. And like I have some opinions and questions, and so we're gonna see how that works. And look, as I said early on in this program, I want to bring issues that impact people here locally. We could talk about the war in Iran and how that impacts us locally, but like data centers, this is like real deal stuff. This is our neighborhood. This is our elected officials. Maybe we can sort of get an understanding and basically a compromise that maybe benefits all parties. So we'll see. But yeah, that's about the location.
So I've been doing a little research online about these data centers, and watching some videos of people, that live near existing ones. And I'll tell you what, if I was them people in them homes, I'd be one pissed off SOB. That's all I know.
But here's what I'll also say, and so.
But they need the money. They need the money.
Well, no, I don't know if it's necessarily the money, but you've got technology that is advancing. In my opinion, like I've done research as well, and you can look at things that look and put the worst light in the world on a whatever company you want to call it. You want a data center, you want to talk about a distribution facility. I mean, I live about probably a quarter mile from a major distribution facility that I won't name, and they have issues and noises. And I guess if you already come in it with a mindset of saying, well, this is going to be terrible, and so they're going to maybe take the video that you see of when they test the backup generators. Look, there's pluses and minuses, and as well as I, we're in Northwest Indiana, so we've got plenty of trains. We've got plenty of traffic. We have steel mills. We have refineries. We have you name it, in any parts in between. So we're not living in. I don't even want to. I've never been to Colorado Springs, but I'm assuming just someplace in Golden, Colorado, where we've got mountains. Like, this is our area. We chose to live here and grow up here. So I don't buy so much into video, because look, people can put whatever video you want. Oh boy! And Jim D'Lo walks in, and so I'm going to wait to hear and hear their concerns and discussions, and then we can ask questions. And I think that's the key, is to have a dialogue, because I don't believe everything data centers is great, and I'm sure there are some drawbacks. And conversely, I don't think everything is the worst thing in the world that you're going to have to hear certain things. So.
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
I'm interested. I'm really interested to hear your interview, because this is what we like on this station. Good radio.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people don't like good radio, but yeah, we like good radio.
Well,
and I want to hear if what they're going to say comes to fruition. Are they as noisy as what you hear about? It sounds like a jet engine.
Right. And so that's that's the whole point, is like, this is something local, something that impacts us. And those, you mentioned that new subdivision. Look, that. You would have to assume that the next subdivision, that the people that bought there were going to have something else built there. Maybe they didn't think data center, but they maybe thought a possible housing development. So whatever, we'll find out here soon enough. We got another phone call, and I got Jim here leaning hard on me. All righty, thank you. Appreciate it. Next caller, go ahead. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's 7:13. Hello, Jim. You were getting kudos from Trucker Mike, which I don't understand why, but you were getting thing. Go ahead, caller. We got you. Welcome.
Joe, you there?
Joe is here.
I'm here.
Hello. Hey,
Who is this?
This is Dave from Crown Point. Hey, I wanted to thank you. Not thank you. I do want to thank you for something, but first I just want to congratulate you on the move. What I do want to thank you for is probably the most monumental accomplishment at WJOB, and that's getting Dave Kuziak fired off the air.
Oh my God! Okay. No. Come on, Dave is a great guy.
That accomplishment alone should propel you to president of ESPN moving forward. Everybody, that guy's like a cockroach. Nobody can get him off the air. but a 22-year-old kid from Andrea. God bless you for that. I got to go later.
Bye.
So Dave from Crown Point's upset because wasn't Dave criticizing Dave from Crown Point? They weren't big friends.
Daves are going back and forth at each other. We do have another caller, though.
Oh, hey, welcome, Jim.
Hey, you want
to introduce yourself?
Hey, everybody. I'm Jim Deedlow. Hey, take your calls. I just want to plug one thing, and then I'll get off the air, but go ahead.
I would like you to stay.
All right.
If you like. Who's the caller? Go ahead.
Good morning.
It's Dave from Gary.
Hi, Dave from
Another
Gary.
Dave.
Hey, Dave.
How we doing?
I'm doing wonderful.
Good. I think that I think the rub there is that Kuziak used to hit Dave from Crown Point. That Dave from Crown Point never complained about a rate increase from NIPSCO. That was Kuziak's line.
Wow, that's what got Dave fired up. I get it.
That's the rub. That's where they go back and forth like 15-year-old boys, trying to one up each other, which is hilarious.
Hey, Dave. Dave, I need to remind you of one thing. Remember when it's recently that you and I were yelling at each other like 15-year-old boys? It's
you have that. You made. I mean, what you did is repeat what other people on this rate, your callers that you allow to call, that you give the privilege to call, and you said something that I was, of course, offended by it. I had you up on a pedestal, and you repeat what one of the 9 Republicans that called in here said.
I would like you to rehash this. I would like to start this fight up again,
I don't
Dave.
quite remember it, but I do remember that I felt
now
bad
you're trying to sound like now you're trying to sound like Deedlow. You know who? There's one person in Lake County that was disappointed that the sheriffs were getting along, and that was the said owner of the radio station. He wanted to stir the pot with the shiitake mushrooms in it, and they didn't take the bait. I know you were disappointed.
Here's the thing, Dave. I'm gonna tell you behind the scenes about that same very issue, because I was supposed to be on right before the election, and the guy sitting next to me booted me off and says, well, look, you can be on the radio from 6 to 7. I go, look, man, I'm not going to be your snooze button so you could go do interviews with politicians. I go, I am not coming in. I said, I'm doing this for free. And by the way, we yelled at each other like 15-year-olds.
In the same day, Dave, I yelled at you and you yelled at me. And I yelled at Dan. We've yelled a couple times over the zillions of years here, but we really kind of got into it.
It was great.
And maybe I'm the common factor.
There's a common denominator here. Well, there was a lot of pressure. There was probably a lot of people that wanted to be on the air. So I wanted to talk about elections.
Also, Jed was complaining that he had to sell all that time at the market's lowest price. So we heard that quite a few times. So anyway, Jed,
you'll always
so true. That is so true. He was complaining about that.
Well, I mean, all the politicians
So
know
anyway,
that.
Jed.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you and the judge will always have a parking place. How about that?
I was just going to say, after we yelled, I'm like, God, why did I do that? Summer's coming up, and I take my granddaughter out to his house, and if she's got to go pee, she goes in the house, and I don't want to ruin that, because it's about as good a quality of life.
There'll always be Bud Light in the gazebo in the cooler. So
you're too nice.
Fine.
I would not do that for him, man. I would let him sweat it a little bit.
My wife, we go out there, right?
Yeah.
And we go to
What's the address? Could you tell everyone the address?
No, I'm not telling.
Good.
But there is a little sign that says Jed's parking spot.
Okay.
But I go out there a bunch of times. But one of the times I went out, and I only had like 4 Bud Lights with me, right? And I won't drink anything else. And
that's a problem.
Other people showed up, walking by. So I gave one guy a Bud Light. I gave one woman a Bud Light that was a friend of Alexis's. So I only had 2 Bud Lights, and I'm like, my number over like 3 or 4 hours is like a Bud Light an hour.
That means you'll be sober.
And she goes, all right, well, I guess you're just gonna have to gut it out. I go, no, I'm not. I'm gonna go back to Dave's house, and I'm gonna go in his refrigerator. Well, he's not home. Well, don't worry about it. He comes home, and it wasn't just one or then. I think I took like 8 Bud Lights out of there and started handing them out on the beach.
Helpful advice: don't argue with a man who just gave you free beer in a parking spot very close to a beach. All right, FYI.
Hey, Dave.
Yeah.
Hey, Dave.
I just wanted to call and chime in about the data center that I was kind of asked a lot of questions about during the campaign. You know, and is it the ideal spot? I don't think it's the ideal spot, right? But does Hobart need it? So the question is to the Hobart residents. Now, there's like 28,500 people in Hobart. You know, and what we heard from was the 1,000 that didn't want it. Here's the choice was on the table for the mayor. Do you raise taxes, or do you bring a data center in? Now, do you run in the red or do you run in the black? These are questions that need to be asked and need to be answered. And maybe you start going in that direction. Do you want to be in debt or do you not want to be in debt?
I mean,
I think that's
Dave,
the question.
My position on this is going to be with when I'm talking to the folks there is simply what you're saying is like I'm going to try to put a government perspective on the discussion, and I have some experience doing that. So it's back and forth. Yes, to the immediate area, I'm imagining there's going to be a level of discomfort's probably not the strongest word, but it's going to be hardship. And so I would be a little bit questionable, but then there's some, and as you know, because you decided to run for politics, which by the way, I don't understand, but God bless you. I'm retired and recovering, is that you have to run your community. So there's decisions that have to be made. And sometimes people that aren't affiliated with government don't understand the rules. Like, I got thrown out of this meeting, and well, there's rules to a meeting. Like you just can't have open chaos. So my whole point is honestly to get a perspective, because I don't live in Hobart, and I'm not here to say what it is, but I'm just trying to give a back and forth and understanding to it, and hopefully that gets happening, because not every time a newspaper article you're going to get the full story, and so this is an opportunity where they can sort of say what their story is, and we can put a different spin on it, and maybe everyone becomes a little bit smarter, and we will not be yelling at each other because this is a friendly situation. So Dave, by the way, never give him any more Bud Light.
You have to break it down.
Yeah,
you have to break it down.
Issue.
In the farm, the farmland, right? The farmer selling the farmland, and all of you as well. I've driven past that intersection because I have quite a bit of family in Hobart. I'm probably 1,000 times I've driven past that intersection, and I've always looked. It's always been a bean field. It's always been a cornfield.
Yep.
For the last 50 years, and I've been driving by there for 30 years. So everything's what you need to do. If adults can sit down calmly and dissect this, and the outcome, it's either plan A or plan B.
No,
this goes in, or your taxes go up. It's pretty simple.
Once again, you and I could probably start yelling at each other because you're living in dreamland. It's way past that. The heightened discord around data centers is not just in Hobart. It is all over America.
But here's the thing. How much of it is based on a fear and how much is based on reality? So like some people don't want want any development no matter what. We're all old enough except for Joe in this room to know that anything past or anything south of Ridge Road was sporadic in development. So those were all farm fields. And I used to go to Jensen's on Ridge Road and then past Main Street. And now, it is just happening. Like is growth, and that growth is happening in Hobart, is Crown Point, and everywhere else in between. So we have to expect that. And so there are growing pains. Otherwise, I think Dave from Crown Point was, I believe, originally from Hammond. So, there are issues that he should know.
He's originally from Hessville.
Right.
And you know what? He looks like it, partly because he doesn't. Everybody in Hessville, unless the ones that go to Doug Paris,
Doug Paris.
have bad haircuts. So they figure they cut it themselves or something.
Dave, you were from Highland. You moved to Gary. But we all have experience, and we know people that have built houses and businesses and whatever you want to call it, sprawl. So it happens. And the people that built in Hobart in those new subdivisions, they were once farm fields, and they were once soybean fields and corn. Yep. Now this is a new dynamic, and Dave hits it on the head. You have to talk about it. But you can't just say everyone's against data centers because data centers are bad. Data centers are needed, and what the irony is, and I laugh about it, is like the no data centers is on Facebook. So what does Facebook use? I mean, everyone uses this stuff. So stop ordering from Amazon. I'm sorry.
Hey, Dave, I might see you Monday. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Is that okay?
What's Monday? Oh boy.
I'm taking the little
Memorial Day.
I'm taking. It'll be early, so I won't.
I knew it was Memorial Day. I just didn't know what he was planning was due.
Yeah.
Just call first. Nope, not a big deal.
Hey, can you ask your better half when she goes to the grocery store if she might pick up an extra 6-pack of Bud Light just in case?
Get the Schlitz. The Schlitz is last. They're making lasting Schlitz.
She'll grab a 30. She'll grab a 30-pack of Rolling Rock. I don't know about the Bud Light.
All right, man. Typical Highland.
What about Zima?
Highland. I'm from Highland. I drink Rolling Rock.
Zima's okay.
Zima, she loves Zima.
I love Zima. We can't find it. If someone could find Zima for me, I would pay money.
Yeah,
for
you
it.
can find it in the backseat of my '69 Nova.
I'm going to tell you this.
Hey, listen.
It's illegal to order that in the United States. This is my show, not your show. You sit to where you.
Can I promo one thing? All right. Yesterday, I want to see.
You could get it in Japan.
All right, we're ordering it. Let's go.
Zima, you can get in Japan.
All right, you can get it anyway, I won't even say where he lives.
Thanks,
hey,
Dave.
Listen, because my car's going to be there. See you Monday. Hey, listen, it's supposed to be beautiful beach day on Monday. Hey, listen, I went to the Business Industry Hall of Fame yesterday, and he's gone. And I just want to say thanks. First of all, the Times did a great job. They brought in Governor Braun. And I told this to Mitch Daniels. He didn't take it real well.
Oh, boy.
But I'm like, I've been interviewing the guy on and off, and he got better.
Who?
Braun. He's better at handling his message out. Is he still on the air, or is that something else? All right. He explained things. He does it from the small business perspective. He doesn't sound like he's just hailing the number one thing he has is the MAGA agenda. He seems like more kind of Indiana-centric. And I don't know what happened, but, he went out. I interviewed him out at the British Petroleum pickets and all that. And I'm like, you know what? First of all, Mark Chase did a great job interviewing him, and we're going to get that tape, and we're actually going to play it on the air. And but Braun, maybe he just has my, I'm starting to. He was talking about all the weed shops in New Buffalo. He's like, I don't know about weed. I just hate money leaving Indiana. So I think he's coming for weed.
I guess if you see the local press, I think the Times covered it. I know Indianapolis covered it. Is that one of the representatives from South Bend, I believe, or Elkhart, is sponsoring legislation in this next session for that. I mean, it is an economic, and to the governor's point, I mean, like, look, he was a U.S. senator. He was a business person. He was a state rep at the time. And so you grow into, I mean, it's different. It's a different dynamic, I imagine. I've never been a U.S. senator, but from the U.S. Senate perspective to now you're the governor. So you're like the highest elected officer in the state. So it's something to grow into and
he just speaks better.
Yeah.
I don't want me to degrade what he was doing before, but he's really gotten it.
In anything, look, when Joe goes to his new job, he's not going to be perfect when he first starts, and then he's going to be perfect. So.
I know you got someone at 7:30.
And we got. He might have to get pushed.
Are they here?
He's got to get pushed to 8, I think.
Wait, I don't think is that not your guest?
No, that is not.
Who is that?
Mr. Doherty's here.
Oh yeah, you're going to have to push. That was your your scheduling snafu.
I don't have a schedule. I don't have his phone number.
Oh, all right.
We didn't even have him on the calendar.
All right. Hey, listen. We'll have him. I want to say I went because I knew all these people. First of all, Bob Migliorini out of Hammond.
Good guy.
If you got a problem with like some sort of pulley or some sort of cylinder, other than you got two of the best problem solvers in the world are here in Hammond.
I know.
And Brian Beatty and Bob Migliorini. But Migliorini went into the Hall of Fame. Also, Bill Masterson. I kind of went to see him. I hadn't seen Bill Masterson. He used to be the publisher of the Times. He and I went at it when I had the Calumet Press, and I was kind of a little bit of history there. But he's agreed to come on with me. And then
is he still around here?
Yeah.
Does he still live around here?
No, but his kid does.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Patty Trichler. out of IIG Design, out of Crown Point, and I think Naples, Florida. She does hotel lobbies and has done some major ones, including that Urschel development in downtown Valpo. But mostly, Berglund Construction also got honored. But I mostly went for my good friend, Pete Corellis, was inducted into the Business and Industry Hall of Fame. Sat with him and his son and daughter-in-law and grandson, and the daughter-in-law's pregnant. And it was just a pretty proud moment to see the Corellis Roofing and Pete Corellis get honored.
And by the way, just a really quick story. Nothing against Pete, but I liked his dad a whole lot more. His dad was awesome. Like when I was running for office, I was 28 years old on Knickerbocker, and we were walking. He stopped. We sat down and we talked, and I'm like, right on, we're just talking. And
yeah, they had that nice house on Knickerbocker.
I loved them. So
just to finish that story, Pete got a little choked up because he said he worked for his dad all those years. But to circle around in Joe Cimino going to ESPN and Rob going to Barstool and Sonny's at Big Ten and Mulaney and all that.
And I'm watching a river.
And what Corellis used to tell me early, like when I first bought the station, you really have to think about think employees first, think employees first. And I'm like, man, I'm so busy. I got to just think about our thing. And when you flip it around and you start thinking in terms of who is working for you, how are you supporting them, and what they do. In other words, I make money off of what Cimino does and what Sam Michael does and what Adriana does. And he's like, you got to remember that. And at first I thought it was kind of BS and maybe first 10 years. And then I'm like, you know what? He's right. So part of, giving the attention to people who work here, which I didn't used to do, is because of Corellis. And he was a mentor in that way about how to deal with people who work for you. And he talked about that, and it's not BS. Corellis Roofing is built. It's now employee owned.
Yeah.
So he basically sold it to the employees. But to come full circle, congratulations, Joe Cimino, who is headed to ESPN. Another huge loss for us, gain for ESPN, and gain for you. You have earned it. You have gone through late nights and setting up the big productions for the pre-games, getting yelled at me once in a while, getting ignored by Sam and Ben, and you have earned it, and we will miss you.
Wow, we never thought this was going to be the send-off, but you're going to have to tell.
No, it's not. He's coming in on June 2nd.
Yeah, but you didn't tell him that we were delaying that schedule. But anyways, we have to go to break, right? Correct? Unless we have another phone call?
Nope, go to break. You got your thing.
You just worry about yourself over there, kid. I'm going to start yelling at you. We're going to break, and then on the return, we'll talk little data centers.
Gold Rush time at Albert's. Oh, looky here! Oh, those are gonna fetch a pretty penny.
Well, who's gonna buy them from us?
I'll buy that gold from you.
What did you say?
I said I'll buy that gold from you, and I'll give you top dollar.
That sounds great.
It's Gold Rush time. We will see you at Albert's.
Fox Point's free summer Wednesday night concert series kicks off June 3rd with 16 candles. As June heats up, dance to Rico, Boy Band Night, and the Chicago Experience. Then join us for our first free Friday Night Lights concert featuring Fearless, a Taylor Swift tribute, and Beyond the Blonde on June 26th. Fox Point in Lansing, Illinois is just minutes from I-8094 and parking is free. Visit foxpoint.org for our full schedule. That's point with an E, foxpoint.org.
Are you sausage curious?
Who's ready for Polish?
Big Frank Sausage has the very best Polish food in the region.
You had a mouthful of Big Frank
sausage?
We have a full bar, dine-in, carry-out, delivery, and catering available.
I've had a mouthful of Big Frank sausage. I've got a mouthful of Big Frank sausage.
219-378-9556. Smacznego i na zdrowie.
Who's ready for Polish?
We've had some cars run into the barrier wall, not paying attention. They were on their phone.
Texting, scrolling. Yeah, it's bad.
Most often they be on their phones or they're just not paying attention. They can cause a crash.
We could stand on the side of the road and watch every other vehicle looking down into their lap as they're passing us. You know what they're looking at. They're looking at their phone.
Phones. On their phones, not paying attention.
Phones. I'm not a mathematician, but I say probably about 80% of the people who pass me are on their telephones.
No call, text, or video is worth putting yourself or a road worker in danger. When driving through construction, LIUNA members ask you for your sake and ours.
Slow down, stay off your phone, please. Be aware where we're at, where the cone zones are at.
Stay off your phones and buckle up and drive safe.
We're not asking for much.
This is Brian Short, Business Manager for the Indiana Laborers District Council. Everyone deserves a safe place to work. Do your part in the cone zone. Slow down, save a life. We're all in this together.
A message from Laborers International Union of North America and affiliated locals.
Welcome back, everyone, to Thursday, May 21st. You're talking to Dan here on WJLB. Me and Joe hanging out. Jimmy was here, and then like a Tasmanian devil, he's left all these wrappers and just stuff over here on the table, and now he's left. We're going to do some quick weather, traffic. Watch out for that Amber Alert for the gray Nissan Illinois license plates. Person has someone that they shouldn't, and the police are looking for them. So, Joe, if you want to do weather, traffic, and then we're going to hopefully get a phone call coming in here, and if not, we'll take other people's phone call until that happens. So, go ahead. What
that
you
was
got?
like exactly how I fell out of my chair a couple weeks ago, so I was just trying to avoid that.
I would have loved to seen that.
It was on the air, too. You just not on camera. Luckily, it was facing Dabberton. But anyways, traffic and weather for today. Thursday, May 21st. Traffic it's looking red. That's what I'll tell you. You get the normal backup on Klein Avenue due to utility work and road construction. But other than that, 94 heading west is really backed up. Like pretty much as soon as you get near Michigan Avenue and 103rd Street, just on the other side of the border from Whiting. That's when it really starts to pick up and get bad, where it intersects with Route 12. I don't know what the heck. I hate these numbers. Like, why is it? Right. It's like 55, 41.
You won't have to worry about it in 2 weeks.
290, and then we have 12. What is 12 doing there?
Well,
but whatever.
Someone thought it was a good number.
I
Anyways,
guess
it's backed up. Don't take it.
Yeah. The Lakeshore Drive heading north is backed up into the city. Like I said, 94 is literally red all the way until you get into Rosemont. So that's going to be pretty backed up. The Eisenhower heading north or east and west is pretty red all the way out through Oak Park. And then the Stevenson heading north and south is actually probably the least backed up road here, but it's still showing some red with slow traffic on the exit ramp of Stevenson North before I-94.
It's a holiday traffic, so watch out, everybody. Be careful, drive slow, and watch out for e-bikes because they're everywhere.
Oh, I was driving in the city the other day, and I literally almost ran somebody over.
I'm telling you.
Do not jaywalk either in the city. Like, come on, dude. Are you really that, like...
It's a bad thing, and I know I'm not trying to be the old grouchy person, but I'm telling you, it's bad. I'm starting to see some local municipalities address it, but look, it used to be scooters when I was our age, but the problem is now these e-bikes are a lot narrower, smaller, and just because you put little, Billy on with your head, with his little head gear, doesn't help when you're trying to weed before traffic. And so, I almost hit one too, and it's like it's a mess out there. So
there are a lot of people who will not wait for you. Like that person that I almost hit, like, yeah, should I have saw you? Probably. Why are you jaywalking? Why are you walking in the middle of downtown Chicago on a crosswalk where you're not supposed to be, in the middle of the road? Like, this is how you literally die.
You can't fix certain things in people. That's just what it is.
I know. And then he's looking at me and he's like, what the heck, man? I'm like, I'm literally about to get out of my car and punch you in the face.
No, you don't want to do that, because I'll tell you what, that's considered like road rage, and then people are carrying weapons. You don't want to do that.
No, it's definitely considered road rage, but that guy made me so mad.
Don't pretend they're a Packers fan. Pretend like they're a good Cowboys fan.
A good Samaritan?
Yes.
Yeah, you would think so, right?
Life's too important not to mess around with that stuff. So anyways, so we got callers, or...
Oh, I got to do weather.
Well, all right, sorry. Weather's looking cool until Saturday, and it picks up on Sunday, right?
There you go.
I like that.
So we got some passing showers throughout Friday night and Saturday morning. But other than that, Dan hit it right on the nose. It's going to be kind of chilly until Sunday, and then it'll pick up. So
let's roll through these calls. I know we're expecting one. I don't know if that person has called yet, but if they haven't, we're going to roll through some calls, because we actually have John Doherty that is waiting in the green room because Jimmy forgot to tell him something. So we're just going to go with this. So go ahead, caller. You're on?
Yes. Hi, good morning. Yes, good morning. Safety Steve weighing in on the data center. Hey, I live out in Arizona. We just recently are in the process of finishing one up about 5 miles from my house. And one of the questions that you might want to ask, I don't know how it would affect you guys there, but the fact that the environmental impact that may have on it, because they have these tons of, at least out here in Arizona, these like thousands of cooling devices on the roof. And then not only that, but they've also built it right after they just finished a brand new neighborhood there. And one of the biggest concerns is all the heat that it builds up is in the area, and it could raise that local temperature in I don't know what mile radius up to as much as 5 to 10 degrees. And what impact would that have on NIPSCO? Are they going to be self-sustaining, electrical powered? And maybe that's the question you might want to ask.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to weigh in on that. I love your guys' show. And Joe, good luck to you on your route to ESPN. You're going to be the next Frank Reynolds.
Thank you very much.
There you go. Thanks, Safety Steve. Enjoy Arizona. And I will answer the question for you, because I did talk to some folks in NIPSCO, and NIPSCO supplies power to them directly. It has no necessarily impact on the grid. It's self-sufficient. So I appreciate that, Safety Steve. And for the question, we got anybody else hanging out? We got 2 more. Great. Let's rip through them here.
Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning. In reference to NIPSCO Dave, every day of the week and twice on Sunday, I'll side with NIPSCO Dave over Dave I genuflect for Hakeem Jeffries Gearman. That's my call.
Okay. All right. I love it. People are feisty Thursday. That's great. One more call?
Yep. We got Mad Mac.
All right. Well, they've just got to be quick, because we're waiting for the one phone call to come in, hopefully. And if not, I guess they lose their opportunity, because...
Morning, Mac.
Hey, you're talking about the, I didn't call for this e-bike thing, but for the signs that are now going up in all the towns that, over the crosswalk that say caution or stop for people in the crosswalk, right?
Yeah. Those yellow ones?
You see them coming up all the time, right?
Yeah.
What? Yeah, it's like right in the middle of the lane, And, it's going from like bike path going across the street or whatever it is, right? For all you idiots out there, and chances are you're Democrats, it says caution and stop for those who are in the crosswalk. That doesn't mean when a car's coming, you get to walk right out in the middle of it without looking. Because if the car's coming, the car has the right of way. Now, if you're already in the crosswalk in advance, then the car slows and lets you pass. But you just don't get to walk your dumb ass into the middle of it or even approach it and keep going when a car is already there.
Hey, Mad Mac, was the Democrat part necessary as a part of that discussion?
Absolutely. Now, here's what I'm calling about, the data center stuff.
Yes, sir.
Let's remember back in the day, remember when Google had the Google glasses?
Yep.
And it had a camera in it. And everybody was going to be wearing them, right? Everybody. It's going to be part of your life. You'll be wearing them to bed, in the pool, in the shower. You'll never take them. Oh, that didn't work. Okay. So then we had the Meta helmets from Facebook, from what's his name, whatever the hell his name is. And we were all going to be in the metaverse walking around with these 3D helmets, and we would never leave our house again because the Meta helmet would take us to work visually. We'll be connected. We don't have to travel to Europe. We'll experience it right there. Okay, that didn't work. Okay.
All right, so what
then
are we
had
going
this
in?
company called Amazon. The point is with these data centers, there's going to be a company that's going to come with a chip that is going to be so tiny with more processing power than they've got in a single server right now, that we're going to end up with so many of these dumb data centers, and we're going to go, oh, yeah, maybe we'll call Amazon and see if they need a warehouse. Because we're overdoing it. I get AI is coming. It's going to revolutionize everything. Just like driving car. Well, we'll never drive a car again because they'll be self-driving.
Well, but you're using your argument against yourself, actually. You're saying all these things are going to happen. How do you know that chip is going to come? That it will be the one and only chip? There is none. So here's what I will tell you.
It always comes. The chip always shrinks. It always gets smaller, and the processing power, it goes up at least 8 times its
There's
power.
a joke in there somewhere.
So we're going to end up with all these data centers, and we're not going to need them when half of the AI companies go out of business.
And what I would say,
you ever look at the PE?
Yeah, what I would say, Mad Mac, is that if you have a decent development agreement, and most communities should with situations and projects like this, there would be a provision in there that says, okay, in the event that this data center is no longer needed or you disband it or whatever you do, then there should be a clawback saying this is what you have to do with the property. Either bring it back to its current state or demolish it or do whatever you want to do. But that's just a personal thing. Joe, do we have the caller coming on yet or no? No, we still don't have. So we're still talking. So that's fine. But
all I'm saying is maybe just slow down with putting a data center on every corner. This isn't the south side of Chicago where you got 4 bars on every corner. Now it's a tiny little thing. I get it. Everybody had to be a bar owner. The risk wasn't that great, and it wasn't going to really kill a neighborhood. But the data center, we're told, oh, your rates will never go up. And of course the rates on electricity go up. And NIPSCO says, no, we'll be fine. It'll work, no problem. And then he got brown out.
I will tell you. So now the new rules or the new regulations are they have to be self-sustaining. As I understand it, I'm not in the electrical world, but as I understand it, that's why NIPSCO spinned off into a cogen. They've got their own plant which services these data centers.
No, that's not. No. That's not why they did that.
Why did they do it? Why did they do Mac that? Here? What do you got? Why did they do it?
They did it because if they come in as a new, totally separate legal entity, excuse me, sorry about that. They don't have to follow all the rules of building plants and things like that. They can avoid regulation.
I don't
cheaper, and they can do it for that. It's that simple.
Well, I don't think it's that simple, but my understanding is that they have to be able to provide, which is a problem. Or some people have problems with is the fact that they believe they will lose service because they will want to provide service to these data centers and not the residents. And my understanding of it, I'm not an expert, is that cogen is solely meant to provide power for that facility and nothing else. So I'm not an electrical attorney, but that's my understanding of it.
Well, I would just caution you with this. Remember 12, 13, 14 years ago when NIPSCO said, yeah, we're going to shut off nuclear. We don't need it. We're getting rid of coal because solar and feeding squirrels peanuts to run in the little spindles to create electricity and solar panels, all that was going to work perfectly, right? And then when the state of Texas had a huge brownout, when the gigantic battery facility in Cali totally blew up, we go, maybe they either weren't telling the truth or this isn't going to work. Now, if you believe the government or NIPSCO, you need to put your helmet back on and don't sleep on the top bunk bed and fall out of it. Because they've been proven to lie before, they'll lie again. The rates we have now from NIPSCO are not like this because they told us the truth. They miscalculated, they overpromised and underdelivered, which is par for the course for these groups of companies. With the data center thing, I'm telling you, it's already starting to platform and get out of hand.
Well,
we just need to slow it down a little.
I don't mind,
but that's all I'm saying, man.
And I somewhat agree with you. I think that you have to make sure that the development agreement and it is papered properly, so that in the event that something does change, and the thing, you talked about whether we're going to do solar and wind. I mean, no one thought we were going to go back to coal. It's just administrations change and guidelines change, and so the current administration said, "Look, that's not true." Up. Why not? Why isn't it true?
It's not because the administration changed. Well, it's because the science never changed. God gave us organic oil. We have so much oil inside planet Earth, we wouldn't know what to do with it all. And if you think you're going to defy the laws of physics, you got another thing coming.
Okay, here's
you
the
cannot
question.
store electricity on scale.
Who are the folks that told NIPSCO to keep the coal power generator open? It wasn't me. It was the government. Right?
What do you mean?
Right? They kept that. What was
what's
the station over there?
NIPSCO came up with the bright idea that we'll cover every farm field on planet Earth with solar panels. We don't need nuclear.
I get it. You're not for solar and you're not for wind, and I get it. That's fine. But I'm saying the current ruling by current administration was for the fact that they wanted to keep the coal and told them to keep the coal plant open. Is that correct? That's correct. I mean, it's not a Democrat or Republican issue.
That was almost by with Mitch Daniels. Brought to the boys. They go, hey, listen, you're not going to meet your expectations here. We're running out of capacity for energy. There's only one reason NIPSCO gives away the free LED light bulbs and does everything they can to get you to save electricity and wear jackets in your house, so they don't have the capital expense of putting up another plant.
You think
because
LED
once
lights
they got
really
out
affect
of
them
the nuclear thing?
You really think those lights? You think LED lights is really it's going to save everybody all this amount of capacity?
I think it will reduce capacity, but I'm not saying it was my idea to do the LED lights. That's why NIPSCO would do that, though, because they wanted to avoid the probably a $5 billion project to put up another gigantic generating plant. I mean that's right in their notes from their that they filed with the SEC. You can just read that on your own.
I know nuclear,
but they've had to increase capacity with all these data centers and that. And it costs a lot of money, and you know who's paying for it? We are.
I
don't see where
on that point.
The general public is the gigantic recipient of all the benefits of AI. I get it's coming. We do need. You've got data, no doubt. Everything goes digital these days. But like I gave you 10 examples or whatever it was, it's not going to be the panacea you think it's going to be. And when we're stuck with all of this stuff laying around, hey, D-Lo, you want to buy a data center and turn it into like a foosball company or something? Put some pickleballs in there because they don't need it anymore.
It all goes down to development agreements, and I would say that to every community is if you put in that contingency, if you put in the fact that, hey, look, you may be correct. We may not be the Jetsons, and we may not be flying around in little buggies. But the reality is, if you put it in the development agreement that says if in 20 years or 10 years or whatever year you want to say, this is no longer a viable option, then it is your responsibility, company ABC, or any of your successors to dismantle it, deal with it, and level it and make it another opportunity. Look, we always have to reinvent ourselves. So I'm not saying that data centers may never not be available. Maybe you think that there's too many. Evidently, there are companies that think that there aren't enough, and so they're the ones that are doing this type of information.
Let me guess. The companies that think there are enough, let me guess, what business? Oh, yeah, they're probably in the business of building data centers.
Absolutely, they are.
But all I'm saying is that's why they're getting turned down in different towns all across the country now. Everybody said, yeah, we all need them, and now they're rejecting them and saying we don't want them, or do it somewhere else. Or maybe think twice about it and slow up a little bit before you decide, yeah, let's sell all of downtown Hobart. We'll just tear that down and put a data center up, and that's going to cure cancer, you know? That's all I'm saying.
I don't think anything's going to cure cancer. I wish it would, though. However, thank you for the phone call, Matt.
Oh, wait. Hey, Joe Biden said he was. Joe Biden said he was. But yeah, that's right.
I don't get the whole, I mean, everything has to be political. It can just be based on facts. So, Joe, we got a phone call or no? So I still got to tell him, I want to still discuss this, but when we say slow down, it's for everything. Everyone needs to slow down. Like, so everything's not terrible about a data center and everything's not perfect about a data center. And that's why we all need to not talk over each other, but talk with each other. And that's all I'm advocating for, quite honestly, because I think there is benefit. There's benefit for the communities. There is some possible downfalls, but I think people start getting, if you're anti, you're going to go, the power is going to go and you're going to fly Martian ships. I think everything can be worked out, but I would hope to get sort of the information, and I don't think we're getting the phone call that we were expecting, and I'm sorry about that, but I was told that we would get a phone call at 7:55. So I guess they've just lost out on their opportunity. Clearly, it was not as important to them. But here's my thing, and I guess I'll use the 5 minutes before we interview Mr. Doherty here from Powers Health. 2 minutes is simply this: we are all humans. We need to talk. As such, we can negotiate and talk about important things. I think there's a financial component that people aren't talking about, and I think Dave mentioned it earlier in the program, is that there are pressures being put on local governments with shortages in budgets, and they're like, well, just cut the budget. I will tell you, having done it in the city of Hammond, it's easier said than done. Everyone goes, well, you run to police and fire and you want to cut police and fire. Well, it's the truth. Any municipality that I would tell you that is a city, I can tell you City of Hammond, East Chicago, Gary, Hobart, Crown Point, for the county even, a majority of their spend is not on the person that answers the phone. It's on police, fire, and in the county's case, it's the jail. So it's not an easy run to that. It's just the reality and the fact. So if you want to do the research, you would go to the budget and go, okay, how much money am I spending? Because we went through that exercise in Hammond, and we did remove the health department, and you thought, well, the health department, that's a big reduction. Not really. I think it was $600,000 when you took out all the grants. We did take away busing, which was not a fun thing to do. But when you take that out, that's $700,000. Well, that $607,000 sounds like a whole bunch of money. But when you're dealing with a $45 million budget in total, including casino money, you're talking $80 million. It's really not that much money. And so the savings is small, and I guess you could start someplace. But when you talk about financial stresses, you are going to see a lot of financial stress on a lot of communities here in Northwest Indiana. You're going to see it in the school cities. I would tell you, without assurances, I would be shocked and surprised that if most communities don't issue their own local income tax. That's a reality. I would also tell you, and you've seen it before with referendums with school, this is not a scare tactic. I just am going to tell you that you will see reports now coming out that they are going to be short. So what do you want to short in your schools? And it's a tough battle, and it's going to be tough decisions to be made. And so when communities are looking for development, whereas Hammond has done it with their data center, or Hobart is looking for it, they're looking for possible future revenue sources so that you don't get the income tax, you don't get a referendum. And if you can offset that, that's a positive. Yes, the residents that are immediate next to it, they are not going to be used to seeing the same soybean cornfield that they were. However, it's going to be something different. And as I said earlier in the program, I live next to, or closely to, a distribution facility that I get to the experience of trucks backing up and loading their stuff. That's my choice. I live next to 2 hospitals, so I get the ambulances flying through, and that's something that I've have to deal with. And when I grew up, quite honestly, I grew up next to 94. I lived in Schleicher, so if anyone from Hammond knows, That's between the Expressway, Columbia, and the Boulevard. And so it's just a part of living in Northwest Indiana. So unfortunately, our caller did not call. I'm a little sad, but it's time for a break. And I was hoping to have that discussion, but I guess we'll just battle it out on Facebook and get to the bottom of it. So, Joe, you got a break. We got to take a break. Then we'll do weather and traffic. And then John Doherty here from Powers Health will be here. And I have to admit, I didn't read his article, but I should have.
Yep. And a quick station ID. It is 8 a.m. here in the region. You are listening to WJOB 104.7 FM, 1230 a.m. We will be right back with a guest.
Plumbers Local 210 is building the future, and we're looking for service plumbers to join our team. Our training center invests nearly $500,000 every year to make sure our members are the best in the industry. From a 5-year apprenticeship and an associate degree at Ivy Tech to ongoing certifications in safety and new technology, our plumbers are trained for excellence. Every member is drug tested and licensed for your safety and peace of mind. When you need plumbing work done, make sure you ask for the license. It's your right to ask.
Before Notre Dame Federal Credit Union, we were being charged various maintenance fees and various check writing fees for all of our accounts. And with Notre Dame, we don't have that. We have that true community partnership. We get interest based on all of our parish and school accounts, and the interest rate is really second to none.
We've had some cars run into the barrier wall, not paying attention. They were on their phone.
Texting, scrolling. Yeah, it's bad.
Most often they be on their phones or they're just not paying attention. They can cause a crash.
We could stand on the side of the road and watch every other vehicle looking down into their lap as they're passing us. You know what they're looking at. They're looking at their phone.
Phones. On their phones, not paying attention.
Phones. I'm not a mathematician, but I say probably about 80% of the people who pass me are on their telephones.
No call, text, or video is worth putting yourself or a road worker in danger. When driving through construction, LIUNA members ask you for your sake and ours.
Slow down, stay off your phone, please. Be aware where we're at, where the cone zones are at.
Stay off your phones and buckle up and drive safe.
We're not asking for much.
This is Brian Short, Business Manager for the Indiana Laborers District Council. Everyone deserves a safe place to work. Do your part in the cone zone. Slow down, save a life. We're all in this together.
A message from Laborers International Union of North America and affiliated locals.
For over 140 years, the Central Midwest Carpenters have built our communities in Northwest Indiana. Are you ready to join the effort? We have long-term work, competitive pay, and the best benefits in the industry. We pride ourselves on innovative training and commitment to worksite safety. Earn as you learn as an apprentice. A solid career built on a solid legacy. For more info, go to carpenters.com.
Wow, Jim.
It's your
show.
Okay,
good morning. Good morning.
Welcome back. Did you do the weather? Weather is going to be nice or going to be cool up until Sunday. Traffic is terrible because everyone is trying to get out early for the holidays. And welcome back with Mornings with Dan. That's what we're calling it. I have Jim Delo here, John Doherty, who is the guest. And Jim said he'd only come on to see if he can make fun of both of us. So I wish him luck. And Jim.
Did you guys do traffic?
Yeah, we just said traffic was terrible all around the city. 94 is terrible.
So
12 is too.
You know, Joe Cimino over there, a big guy going to ESPN. I have never been able to get him or Adriana or Lynette to understand traffic. They just, I mean, it's almost like a generational mental block.
Because they punch it into Google and
they give us where the traffic routes are. They automatically update. Like if you go on Waze, they'll say, "This is there's been an update in traffic. This is a better route."
And that all requires data centers, just for the record.
John Doherty is here. John, how are you?
I'm terrific. How are you?
Are our mics good? I can't hear.
I can't hear anything.
First of all,
I can hear just fine.
John Doherty, of course, is the VP at Powers, big sponsor here, and he's also the head of the sportsmanship committee. But mostly, he's like perhaps the longest living person still in sports medicine in America, oldest living sports medicine person in America.
By the way, did you hear my show last time he was on?
No, of course not.
John was responsible for me getting into athletic training. Swear to God. I remember reading his article back in, it had to be 88, 89.
It started in 85.
Yeah. And I read it. And I read it religiously, his article. This is no joke. And I said, well, I'm not good enough to be in sports, but I know I could do this. This is fun for me. So I took all the anatomy, kinesiology, went to Ball State at the time. I could either go to Indiana State or Ball State. And I went to Ball State. I didn't graduate
for physical therapy?
For athletic training.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Because back then, that was the only place you could get it, right?
Rex, what was Rex's last name? He was head trainer. He's now head trainer in Missouri, at Missouri.
God,
I can't remember his name. And then Neil was the physical therapist and athletic trainer. And then Cox was Bob Cox? He was a head athletic trainer for the basketball team. So that's how I mean, it's my only fleeting thing of fame is Brad Maynard from the Bears, or used to be for the Giants, was a Ball State punter, and I was assigned to football. I was assigned to football and gymnastics.
There's a combination.
And I will tell you this, gymnastics are tougher people than football.
I was going to say far more catastrophic injuries.
I mean, I saw some things I'm going, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah. There were some things, and I'll tell you what.
I mean, I've known you all these decades, I never knew that you were a trainer.
I was not. No, I was not a trainer. I went 3 years, went through the program, and it was a change in policy in whether it was nationally or in Indiana. I don't know, but it was like you'd have to require to teach, or there was a point where I'm like, look, man, I don't know if I could be a trainer because trainers are all after hours school, and then you're going to be in class for whatever 8 to 3, and then you're going. I mean, it was looking like 14, 15. And I tell you what, there were a lot of people that sort of backed out. Trent Trump, who did work at Crown Point, he was in my class.
Okay.
He went through and did it.
He did it. Yeah.
He did it. He was a certified athletic trainer.
Trent's retired now.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it was a lot of things. But because I read his articles, I literally read them every time they came out. So there you go. He has although I didn't graduate from Ball State with an athletic training degree, I went to Ball State because of it.
It's all my whatever it is, it's all my fault.
How long have you been writing that article?
Be 41 years in August.
Wow, I didn't know it was that long.
Yeah.
So you've been writing that article longer than the Purdue show's been on here.
I guess so.
And remember, Wes Lukosius had that show for.
That's how I started on WJOB was with Wes.
How'd that go?
It's terrific. Every other month.
I wish Wes was here. Then I'd have 3 people to make fun of. Now he writes children's books. Wes, what are you doing?
Wes remember the best grandfather.
The best grandfather, Wes Lukosius. Used to be the only guy.
When I started at the Times, he was with the Times.
He was with the Times.
Yeah.
But Wes Lukosius was the only guy in the region who had this, like, what do you call it? Where you
the recumbent bike?
He had a recumbent bike, and then he had this board that you push with one leg.
Why are you making
and
fun
you
of
roll
him?
on it? What do you call it? Like a pegboard or? It was kind of like scooter. It was like a scooter, but it was a special kind of exercise scooter, and he would go around Munster, and I'd see him in like Whiting on his scooter, and he just thought it was the coolest thing. But it was the same leg that he was using, and eventually he had to get that like a new knee, and he couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah,
and it was caused by his scooter.
Well, I thought it was the other way. I thought it was the other way around. He was trying to protect one knee and using the other, but it was driven by. He had some kind of knee trouble. That's why he used both of those devices.
Have you ever seen an adult on a? They ride. People ride around on those motorized ones. But have you ever seen an adult go around on a scooter? He would, like, if he was doing an interview here, he might show up on his scooter.
Well, if you may have got pulled over and you can't drive your vehicle, you may need a scooter.
Oh, every time I ride my bike to a meeting, and I have done it.
Of course, they all think that you got a
DUI.
I'll tell you what, I think of the same thing. I go, there's a older guy driving a bike. I'm like, you got clipped. You're a 6-month probation, clearly.
Dude, just get one of those things on your car.
I promise you, that was not the case with Wes.
Yeah, I mean, you probably should put a sign in the back. Look, I'm not on probation. I'm good.
Honest, I don't know what to say, but that does happen all the time. I was like, no, I don't have I ride my bike,
Well, I'm sure this is not what John was talking about. Wanted to talk about.
Not sure that was why I was coming
on
this morning.
All right,
I tried to get it back
here's
to the
what
record.
We're going to do with Doherty. He is the dean of sports medicine people, but he's also the head of the sportsmanship committee and all of that. So he knows a lot about sports. I'll ask him a question, then you ask him a question. It could be about anything about sports because he knows everything. Just ask him. All right? All right. So, I got one.
This is like a test. He's
a
little nervous right now.
It's like a test. All right. First of all, the IHSAA just approved NILs for high school sports starting August 1st.
Yeah. We knew it was coming.
What is going to happen to high school sports?
I don't think it's going to change high school sports a lot, at least right away. It's going to change for the kids who are legitimate Division I prospects. It will change for them. And then, of course, I'm fearful that kids like that will get attracted to play for schools that have the resources to pay NIL money. So I think it's going to be a longer – in the near term, it won't change a lot. But in the long term, unless they get a handle on it, just like with college sports right now, the rich will get richer.
So the follow-up would be, are you for or against NIL deals?
I'm for anybody being able to profit off of their name, image, and likeness. But it can't be the Wild West that we have right now. And you're seeing it at the college level where that commission that they started, it's the College Sports Commission that was started by the Power Four conferences to regulate NIL. They just clipped Nebraska for $18 million, saying that they couldn't. That they voided, I think, 9 deals or more than that, maybe like 18 deals. They voided at Nebraska, and of course now it's those kids that have lost this $18 million or more. They're suing in Nebraska State Court, and everybody's saying, "Well, they're suing in Nebraska. They're going to win." So it's still crazy out there, and the amount of money is insane. But like I said, the rich just will get until they regulate it somehow better. The rich will just get richer. Notre Dame can afford to pay $40 million a year to a football roster. Ohio State, Michigan can afford to pay that amount of money. The interesting thing is Alabama can't afford to pay $40 million a year. They're paying in the low 30s because there's no more money in Tuscaloosa.
Right.
Yeah.
So I need to ask that question to Joe Cimino, who's on his phone over there, not even listening.
That's okay.
But he is going to ESPN. Congratulations once again, Cimino. I'm very proud of you, but I have to act like I'm pissed again because I'm losing a great employee, which I am. But here's your chance to sound like you know what you're talking about. What's going to happen with NILs?
What's going to happen with NIL?
At high school level. And do you agree with NILs being available? You're a quarterback at Andrane.
No, I don't.
Your dad ran Costco. You could have been over there pushing laundry baskets, and they could have paid you, but you weren't. It wasn't available then. It's available now.
I don't agree with it just for the pure standpoint of, and this is pretty much any high school or college I played sports at other than Andrane. Andrane was very, very fair, but there's just too much politics that go into high school sports. Parents coaching kids still, stuff like that. That stuff is going to affect kids' NIL. I mean, I don't want to go too deep into it, but Andrane shouldn't have been the only year that I started at quarterback, right? I should have started my junior year. You could argue that I could have started my sophomore year at Marion, but I sat behind two different coaches' kids. And to think that, maybe they would be getting paid money or they would be getting NIL deals because their daddy's on the coaching staff and that's why they got put above me, it seems kind of ridiculous. And I would hate to have some other kid feel that type of way, especially with, certain situations where kids or families don't have enough money and maybe they have to rely on their high school kid to have a job or to have an NIL deal. And now they can't because daddy wants their kid to play. So stuff like that, I think, is kind of a problem.
That is very interesting because now you talk about NILs for a kid and then he doesn't play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the NIL isn't going to be there if the kid ain't playing.
Yeah, well, it looks like he's going to play, loses his job, and what happens?
Right. Or he gets hurt.
Yeah, he gets hurt. I mean, that's a good point.
I mean, from a Bisonol person, if you don't, this is just a way to legalize what I think was happening when I was going to school. I'm going to be honest. I mean, there were kids that I played basketball with that had jobs. We don't know if they ever went to those jobs, but I know they all of a sudden appeared on the basketball roster.
That was the Bishop Noel way.
Correct.
Every once in a while, a transfer from the south side of Chicago or Lithuania would show up.
Not Lithuania, but there were things, and I don't like the NIL. I don't like the fact.
I don't like it either.
I mean, even for high school. But college, you go to college and go, what? How do you graduate? Like, you're just. Maybe you don't need to. Maybe you collect $4 million, and if you invest it right, you don't have to worry about going to college.
The Carson Becks of the world don't care if they go to class. They know they're going to the NFL. He was very honest about it.
They said, "What class? How do you do this and study for class?" He goes, "I don't go to class." I'm like,
he said he hadn't gone to class for 2 years.
What about the guy with Will Wade from Alabama, the coach from Alabama who just signed some 26-year-old that used to play in the European League?
Right. Well, if you look at it in this year's NCAA, Michigan. They had guys that had played professionally in Europe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is, to me, like, it sort of I get it. I'm going to be the purist. I was like, oh, get over it. But Ball State, how is Ball State going to compete in the...
There's going to be no more Cinderellas.
Right. Zero.
Because if Ball State has a superstar freshman.
Right.
The moment he's a superstar freshman at Ball State, he's somewhere else as a sophomore.
It happened, and I don't remember the name, but he was a center, and then he transferred to IU. And he was a bust because he could handle it in the MAC,
right.
But he couldn't handle it at IU, and he immediately went back to Ball State. But it's like there is no more Cinderella. That's the part that sort of not bothers me. But you said that you listed the colleges, $40 million. Then the question is, all right, well, they're putting $40 million towards the athletic side now. Does it impact the regular side, the academic side of the school and their fundraising and how much they're going to be
the other part of aside from the NIL is the House judgment, the House case that was settled, and now every school can pay up to 20. This past school year was $20.6 million. It goes up next year at 21 something. Some of those schools can't afford to pay that, even though they can. So to afford to pay it, some of these schools are laying off staff.
Right. Which is sort of counterproductive to why you were supposed to go to school. You went and the opportunity was there through athletics to get a scholarship or to get an education. Now it's actually reversed. You're just going there to get money and I think it's a disservice to the kids because how many kids make it to that next level?
To the pro level?
Yeah.
1 in 100.
Yeah. And
from the Division I level.
Right.
Yeah, but I don't know, Cimino, you're going to ESPN. Here's what I think is going to happen at the high school level. I think that we're doing a lot of games, and we've got a lot of sponsors that are involved. But I think that it will actually probably be a good thing for a few sponsors. Will sponsor a kid.
Oh, it'll be good. It'll be good
sponsor
for some
a kid,
businesses,
and he'll be on the game. And then we'll have some deal where maybe we play this, we play some spot or whatever around him, or he has an NIL deal, and we have to pay him at some point, or I don't know how it's going to work, but that works and is better for him. But what's going to happen where you're going to work at ESPN? They're going to start coming for high school, and they're going to start coming for the big athlete.
Well, they still do national games.
They're gonna do. They're gonna come down.
They're doing IMG games.
Yeah, IMG, or if they have national. I know Bishop Gorman was one of the first kind of schools back then.
Bishop Gorman in Las Vegas. Las Vegas, yeah.
They used to do
those big schools. Yeah,
Bishop Gorman.
They'll be doing Mount Carmel games.
Oh, I'm sure they'll be doing a couple Mount Carmel games.
So I think that our personal competition with Heartland. By the way, the app changed yesterday from Jed TV to Heartland. I don't know if anybody noticed that.
No one noticed.
Yeah, anyways.
Now I know.
Yeah, now everyone knows.
I was looking on my phone or on the TV for Jed TV, and there all of a sudden it had changed over. But we've been kind of lucky in that we've come up, and I think we have 27 schools. Semino was part of that growth. And I'm like, wow, we could really go other areas, and the model works. Unless ESPN, Flow, Huddle, NBC Sports Chicago, all that stuff, they want in on the high school games. And I think that's what's going to happen next to you.
Yes and no. I think you'll have some time to get your foot in the game. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if ESPN was more open to working with, local broadcasting centers in areas that are far away from their headquarters or from, different stations that they may have.
That's not you know what? You've said two things that I wouldn't have expected of you.
I mean,
He's hanging around me. He's hanging around me. That's why.
You worked here all this time. You got beat up, and I'm still beating up on you. But that's a great point. I had not thought that they are going to create those partnerships with the existing media streamers and broadcasters.
Sure. I mean, what would be the point of, building and taking their own thing when they could just partner with a company that already has, 30 of the 35 schools in the area? Seems kind of pointless to me.
I mean, you talk about NIL, and John talked about the college. Look at the high schools. I mean, you already see some kids that have left Hanover Central. They went to Bosco, or where was it? Yeah, Bosco. They went to other places.
All of a sudden, Hobart has a really good quarterback, and it shows up at Crown Point.
No, 100%. Yeah. I mean, look. I mean, look. Culver Academy. I'm not trying to pick on them, but whatever. Andrean wants to continue their dominance in baseball. So Andrean has some good alumni. They want to keep their dominance. What stops it? And then it just becomes why are we participating? So I go get it's the whole reason Little League you sort of try to draft and try to have equal teams and not the superpower that just because I don't want to go to a game that I'm just going to get drilled. We all played it. Yeah. It's not fun. It would be like me playing in a golf handicap without my handicap. Okay, I'm a 10 handicap and I'm going to go play against a scratch golfer. What are my chances of winning? Probably not very well if I'm playing straight up.
0.
It's just not going to happen. So then it becomes that. And I'm not trying to be the participation trophy guy, but I'm just saying I think at the high school level, colleges are making a whole ton of money. But in high school, what are you making? What are you making? What is the gate making in high school?
All right, well, answer that.
I think you need to go back to what is the purpose of high school sports. And the purpose of high school sports is not to provide a living to the athletes, nor is it to send kids on to play in college.
Right. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say that, I mean, I'm sure they'll start making big bucks just because of social media. I mean, I don't know how much you guys follow overtime and stuff like that, but they have a huge 7-on-7 network that gets tons and tons of traction. There are tons of professional athletes that own teams in the OT7 circuit, like Cam Newton, other random rappers and stuff like that. It is ginormous 7-on-7. I can imagine there probably won't be as much as college, but they'll probably make a couple they'll probably make 6 figures. At least the top recruits, the 5 stars, they would probably easily make 6 figures.
So here's what you just said, John Doherty, and here's what you just said, Dan Repay, okay? Not Semino, because he's too smart to say this.
Yes.
Okay. You just said that the purist in you is basically preparing a young man or a young woman for life past high school, right?
Right.
What better way to prepare them than to teach them the fundamentals of a business deal?
But it's just going to be a select few that will be able to get that lesson at the expense of the other kids.
And who's preparing them? Is it the mother and father who are negotiating just like they negotiate to get on the All-Star team in Little League? Or is this really about the kid? And so you're going to see in it where the parents may take it, possibly.
Parents will be looking to profit off their kids.
Oh, absolutely.
We already see that.
Yeah. Look, you're going to go play AAU. I don't want to play.
I'm looking to profit off my future kid.
Okay.
Send him to the league.
Send him to the league.
Yeah, well, I get it to a point, but it's going to be just like the Wild Wild West in college, where you're starting to eliminate academics. And look, I enjoyed high school sports, and I never in a million years would have thought I should go get paid to play or run track or whatever I was doing. Like, what it doesn't make.
All right. So the Semino played football all these years, right? Could have been working for his dad at Costco, right?
Well, many people were still having part-time jobs when I played, still doing what they did. Like I still worked.
Do you think that any high school athlete can have a reasonable part-time job with the demands that there are full year round?
But here's the thing.
This?
And John may disagree or agree with this, is that no one wants to specialize in anything. So you should be doing a bunch of different things. And so I played baseball and I still delivered newspapers. I know that's a little bit antiquated, but there's still things that you should be doing. That's what makes you well-rounded as a person.
Oh, you're learning business.
You're not learning
business. Delivering newspapers,
Look,
and now you can learn business. I mean, it's coming, and it's going to happen where eventually, in my mind, that they're going to pay the kids on the football team each $300 for the season.
It won't be to each kid, unless there's some significant guardrails put up.
Yeah, a guardrail is going to come up, and someone's going to say, "I'll sponsor that team for $10,000," and they got to give all the money to the coaches and the players. And then another guy says $5,000, and I'll do $5,000. And next thing you know, that team is paying that team $40,000, and every kid gets more than $300, right?
I almost agree with that. I think it's a tricky scenario, just because, like, as a school, you want everyone to at least get something, right? At the end of the day, everyone wants something. So I think, it would probably be more about sponsoring the teams more than individual players, especially in the Catholic setting. Obviously, I went to Marion Central. We have a famous NFL alumni, Brian Bulaga. He was an All-Pro for the Packers on the offensive line for many years. And he went and he tried to sponsor and give us a bunch of money to the school so that we could get a whole new stadium, turf, Jumbotron, concourse, the whole works. But it had to go through the diocese. So I wonder how that affects private schools with, most of the money that gets donated to teams or to programs. It goes through the diocese first, and then the diocese decide what they want to do with the money. It might honestly swing, especially in Illinois. They had all of these talks about how private schools are taking over, how they're always winning, state championships, how public schools don't have the same fair opportunity. It might start bringing more kids to public schools just for the same fact that who knows what the diocese play is in NIL.
Well, I would say, knowing the little bit I know about the Gary Diocese, money that's donated to Andran and money that's donated to Knoll stay at those schools. The diocese doesn't take a piece of that. Now, that may be different in Chicago.
It was different in Chicago, but
and I have to disagree a little bit with what you said, because Dave Pisker sat here 2-3 weeks ago with me. I don't think you were here that morning, but he was, I would say, a little bit exasperated in that he has a donor, and I know who it is. The guy's good for it. It's like a nickel to him. And
I think I know who it is, too.
Yeah, he's a nickel to him, and he wants to build the Dave Pisker Stadium, brand new, everything, turf, stands, making it accessible for broadcasting and streaming and all that. And I think the diocese is
the diocese may have
kind of in the way.
The diocese, the money wouldn't be going through the diocese. The diocese may be objecting to putting all those resources at Andrean just into baseball, and the diocese does have oversight in that respect.
Well, how do you feel about that? Having gone to Andrean,
I think it's silly. I think if anything, if there's somebody who's willing and wants to donate to, make facilities better at any one school or, all the schools, then they should be allowed to do it. And if you think that's too many resources, then take some of the resources that you had priorly committed to the program and take it and put it somewhere else. That's what I would do.
Wrong.
I mean, isn't there
because that donor wants to give several millions dollars to Dave Pishker's baseball program,
right,
which started him learning how to compete.
So let him give him the millions of dollars, and then whatever, some of the money that you had priorly set before the donation that was going to go to Pishker, take some of that money and then put it somewhere else.
It's minuscule.
I mean, there's a commercial, isn't there?
That's the issue.
Like the kid is graduating from third grade or kindergarten. He's like Jablonski Auto. Is that's what his name is from NIL? I mean, this is going to get this is going to get out of hand. But anyways,
well, my point is,
I want to talk to about sportsmanship.
No. My point
want to talk about
is that I don't want to sound like Mr. Pro NIL, but I want it regulated, and people need to pay attention to it, and we need to get ahead of it because it will get Wild West-ish like it did at college because they didn't want to,
and it still is,
and they didn't want to deal with it. Nobody wanted to step forward, and you can either step forward and say we're going to fully regulate it. It's almost going to be like nothing, like it is the law that Indiana came with, but at least they're dealing with it. And now you need to go to the second level and deal with the reality of it rather than, it's just going to ruin the purity of the game and not deal with it. And then it's all screwed up in college because they did not deal with it. That's my point.
All right, we got to go to a break according to Joe, and then we'll be back because I want to talk about sportsmanship committee. So go ahead, Joe, with your commercials.
You are listening to WJOB, 1230 AM, 104.7 FM. We will be right back after this short break.
Are you searching for a college where you belong? Calumet College of St. Joseph wants to know you and give you the support you need to succeed. Are you worried about how you'll pay for your degree? 95% of our students receive financial aid, including scholarships and grants. Need some extra help with your classes? You'll benefit from our small class sizes, free tutoring, internship planning, faculty mentors, and so much more. Come experience our accepting, supportive college family for yourself. Schedule your campus visit and apply at ccsj.edu.
Enjoy the taste of summer at the Farmers Market at Fox Point. Every Tuesday from 9 to 1, shop locally grown fresh produce, delicious baked goods, artisanal treats, and local culinary creations. Just minutes from I-8094, the Farmers Market at Fox Point in Lansing, Illinois is a perfect spot to hear acoustic musicians, stretch with morning yoga, and enjoy community fun throughout the season. To see all vendors and entertainment, visit foxpoint.org. That's point with an E, foxpoint.org.
It's the simplest expression. The smallest thing that changes everything. A smile. So easy. A smile lights it up. Apologizes. And welcomes unconditionally. Because the shortest distance between two people is a smile.
Thank you.
Strachan Van Til, where making life easier starts with a smile.
We've had some cars run into the barrier wall, not paying attention. They were on their phone.
Texting, scrolling. Yeah, it's bad.
Most often they be on their phones or they're just not paying attention. They can cause a crash.
We could stand on the side of the road and watch every other vehicle looking down into their lap as they're passing us. You know what they're looking at. They're looking at their phone.
Phones. On their phones, not paying attention. Phones.
I'm not a mathematician, but I say probably about 80% of the people who pass me are on their telephones.
No call, text, or video is worth putting yourself or a road worker in danger. When driving through construction, LIUNA members ask you for your sake and ours.
Slow down, stay off your phone, please. Be aware where we're at, where the cone zones are at.
Stay off your phones and buckle up and drive safe.
We're not asking for much.
This is Brian Short, Business Manager for the Indiana Laborers District Council. Everyone deserves a safe place to work. Do your part in the cone zone. Slow down, save a life. We're all in this together.
A message from Laborers International Union of North America and affiliated locals.
I am a former Laborers Local 41 member and very proud to play that spot. 294 around the city looks pretty good. 80 going east and west looks good to Bishop Ford. Dan Ryan have finally slowed down. And in terms of the weather, it's actually going to be pretty nice later in the Memorial Day weekend. You've got high of 63 only today. Billy Baker said it was too cold to play golf today.
That sounds like Billy.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
He's retired.
He's like, I'm not. We went out the other day and it was 49 degrees and windy. We thought we left our house. It was 61 degrees, no wind. We get out to the golf course, 49 degrees and windy. He's like, never again. This is horrible.
Why? What does he have to do?
Exactly. No.
What? Like, so he can stop by my office and hang out?
Exactly.
No thanks.
Yeah, so anyways, I will not be playing today golf. Let's see, what number is that? Sorry about that. I've got to fix it for you folks on YouTube. Anyways, tomorrow, high of 69, maybe a little bit of rain here and there. Same thing on Saturday, high of 65. Sunday, warms up a little bit, high of 75. And then by Monday, when I'll be out at Dave from Gary's, having a parking spot.
Where's
for
the
us.
address?
I'm not telling you, but you'll see there's a little sign that says Jed's parking spot right on the main thoroughfare there.
The search has started.
Yeah, and it'll be a high of 79, so a good beach day on Monday. I think it's high of 74 by the beach.
Does he live on Oak or Lake?
I'm not telling you where he lives.
Just asking.
Literally, I go there, and other people have asked him. So, well, you let Jed park here. I'm like, no.
Dave, I don't need your parking spot, but I appreciate it.
Hey, anybody's got any questions? 219-845-1100. We didn't take the calls in the last segment, but let's call this another segment. We're playing it again. It's John Doherty. He's a VP at Powers Health, and he, of course, is one of the longest-running sports medicine people around. And then we have Dan Repay, who is, I'm not really sure what his moniker is.
I don't really have anything.
Yeah, what is your title?
My title is Executive Director of the Little Calumet River, but I was here since Jim started, and we were in court together. I worked at the county when he and Alexis were awarded the WJOB license. What judge was that? I forgot whose courtroom.
Dewan.
Judge Dewan.
Judge Dewan.
Down in the basement, take a hard left. So I've been here through a lot of things. So I'm happy to participate. I volunteer my time. I don't get paid at all. I don't even get JED dollars when he passes out JED dollars to the staff, and I enjoy every bit of it.
All right, there it is. All right, so I think I finally have you guys on the air. Sorry about that. Joe had to go take care of business. So we've been talking about some sports with Dan Repay and John Doherty, but let me read a couple of the comments on the YouTube channel, and some of them are rather insightful. Paying high school athletes is a horrible idea. Paying college athletes is bad enough. Another person says, nice conversation.
Can't do it.
Ask Jed what kind of dollars he would have expected playing at Munster.
That's good. You're going to do a cost analysis for the depreciation over the years.
That's what I was going to say. Back then.
Back in the 70s, They used to barter back then. He would be worth like 2 chickens.
So my daughter's calling me. She doesn't know I'm on the air because she's driving.
Not listening.
She's not listening.
There you go. That's what family's for.
Hi, honey. I'll call you back as soon as I get off the air.
8:45. I'll talk to you.
Yeah, I'll talk to you about 8:45. There you go. Here's the thing. All right, I'll just be honest with you. I was a decent commodities trader because of what I learned as an athlete. Mm-hmm. I learned how to.
That's what I'm saying. That's the purpose of high school sports.
Okay, But I'm going to tell you the second part of that. Competition. My brother-in-law, Mark Forright, said, I ran into a guy that you used to trade with at the Board of Trade, and he had nice things to say and about how hard fought you were and that most of the guys there had their seats handed to them, and then this guy named Tommy Blue and myself and others had to work our way up. So it was nice to hear, but a lot of that was built out of the things you learned in athletics, right?
Agreed.
But when I came here to run a business, I had to go get an MBA to even think about business. Trading isn't even business. It's just hand-to-hand combat. So what would have happened if I would have been exposed to putting together a business deal as a senior in high school?
You wouldn't have put the deal together. Your parents would have.
100% agree. That's what I think you're missing. This is parents-driven. There is no 18-year-old that's going to go, I could figure this out. Let me go. No. It's the parents that are going to go, Bobby is worth...
Or John Friend would have put it together.
$1,000. This is what it's going to be. No. And he's going to go and he'll shop himself around, and they'll run his arm off, or if he's a baseball, and whatever he'll do. I'm telling you, this is not about the kid. The kid is not going to learn anything. I'm sorry. 90% of them will not learn a dang thing about
right, I agree.
NIL.
And right now, even the high school kids going to college, getting NIL deals from colleges, those deals are being negotiated either by the parents or by the high school coach.
Right.
It's not that deal between Notre Dame and the next 5-star kid Notre Dame brings in, or Michigan or Ohio State. That's not being negotiated by the kid. It's being negotiated by the kid's parents, coach, or agent.
And then when they get to that school, they go, John's making $500. Why am I making $300?
Right.
I'm sorry. You're in.
That destroyed Texas A&M's locker room when Jimbo Fisher was still the head coach there, and it cost Fisher his job.
I think you're in unicorn land. There is no way a high school athlete, is negotiating their deal. It's just not happening.
I know for a fact that a local high school athlete who's going to be a Division I athlete, his entire deal with the school he's playing for, I don't want to reveal who he is or where he's playing now or where he's going to, but his entire deal was negotiated by the head football coach at his high school, because the coach gave me all the details.
So two things we'll not know. We'll not know who the athlete is, and we won't know where Dave lives in Miller. So, okay, we've got to establish two things. No, but it's true.
All right, so let me put it out to you folks out there. 219-845-1100. We're recording here on Thursday, May 21st. You could hear it else. But if you're driving around right now, IHSA just approved 10 days ago.
Yeah, they were the last of 3 states. They had no choice, and Paul Neidig told me at the sportsmanship dinner he's not for it, but if he fought it, he knew he was going to lose in court.
And then you probably will lose athletes, especially in our area, to Illinois.
Right.
So, exactly. So all I'm saying to people is that we have to deal with the reality of the situation, okay? Especially here, because you're right. They're way behind on Illinois on getting NIL deals because they are kind of screwed up. And or they don't have the need for money in the programs because they get a check for $100,000, right? We could get ahead of it here in the region, and specifically, I don't want to deal with this. Nobody wants to deal with it, but here it is. It's coming to our sportsmanship banquet. The changes in high school sports and in amateur sports. It's coming to your alma mater. Bishop Knoll.
It's been there.
Bishop Knoll is primed. It is growing. It's thriving. It has new facilities.
Yep.
It is primed to take a big swing in athletics. And what used to happen behind the scenes, honestly, I'll just say it. It's been a long time. I got recruited by Jerry King and Jack Gaber. They came to my house. You know what I mean? All the time.
I love Jerry King. I went to school with his son Jeff.
Yeah, they came and picked me up, and we go play basketball. And they were very angry. But they recruited it, right? So, and I know guys who got money and didn't go to work at Bishop. They had jobs and stuff. But now all of that is okay. It's almost like, back in the day you couldn't gamble anywhere or you got thrown in federal prison if you ran a gambling ring, and now it's legal.
Yeah, but you still might get thrown.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same thing with it's like smoke. There's so many things that at one point were very much illegal, and now they've been legitimized.
And I'm just going to say this. I just don't buy the argument that kids or young athletes, student athletes, are going to learn about business through this deal. The deal is going to be placed, as John said, either through, hopefully he's got a good coach that's with him and that looks out for the kids' best interest, or their parents who is going to say, look, this is what you're going to do. I don't want to go to SMU. I want to go to here. Well, tough. They're giving me this, and that's what you're going to do. So, I think it's bad. I get it. We're behind the times. Doesn't matter.
We got some calls. 219-845-1100. I am producing right now, so it is very possible this person is not on the air. But hey, you're on the air. How are you?
You are. I am on the air.
Okay,
you are on the air.
Hey, let me throw something at you. If the coach, if the parents, and if the athlete wants to do something, it's going to be done. My background is wrestling. I know about wrestling. And I know for a fact, if the coach wanted you and if the parents wanted you to go to that school, and if that wrestler wanted to go wrestle at that school because it was in the top 3 in the state, somebody, and let's say the school has closed, it doesn't have open enrollment, somebody's going to pay for an apartment to say that's where that athlete lives. So if you want it to happen, you really want it to happen, there's really not much anybody can do about it. It's going to happen if that athlete wants to go to that school and do that. Where I work, I just see lines of cars from Indiana going to Mount Carmel and Marian Catholic. It's going to happen, right? And I don't know. Maybe you guys can elaborate a little more on that. But if you want it, you can make it happen somehow. Who knows who's paying for that apartment? That's irrelevant sometimes.
But that's, again, an elite athlete.
If that wrestler wants to go to that school.
But
so I'm going to hang up and listen, guys.
Yeah, but as you know, John, how many parents, and this is not disrespectful.
Then there's parents who think their child is an elite athlete, right, and he or she is not.
And I coached baseball, and I wasn't a baseball player, but we all know when you see an athlete, you know they could go to the next level,
right?
And so it's like, well, you should. It's nothing disrespectful against the kid. It's just that they're not going to be as successful. There's some that we could all probably name that you looked at it and either they hit the ball well, they could dunk, they could hit the free throw, whatever it is, you knew they were going to another level, that they weren't just going to stop here in high school. And most people, like I knew I wasn't, anywhere near an elite athlete, but I know I'm not going to play Division I. Division III, yeah, sure, I could probably try it out, but it's unfortunately the parents are going to be too involved and not look at it as a perfect thing. And hopefully John's scenario works and your coach is looking out for you.
There is so much errant discussion about NILs, if you ask me.
It's like data centers.
And yes, exactly.
It is.
There is. It's very similar. All I'm saying is that we have a chance to take a lead here in Northwest Indiana. Part of it is, we've gotten everybody together and all these schools together on one network, and it's like, I've had people say, I see they did NALs. Tell me a little bit more about it. So how are we going to put that together? If someone comes to me and wants to sponsor a team, I'm not really into individuals, but I would say if somebody wants to sponsor Munster baseball, Ileana Christian softball, something like that, they want the money to go to the kids. They don't just want to give it to the athletic department. What do you do? What do you do, Doherty?
Well, again, part of the issue is for the sake of argument, WJOB wants to sponsor the baseball team at Munster High School. The Munster School Board is going to come back and say, well, we want you to – that's fine, you want to sponsor something, but we want you to sponsor the whole athletic department and not just one team.
Okay. Then the money doesn't go in anywhere.
Yeah, I get it.
Okay, so what is the right thing to do? To me, it needs copious amounts of study to figure out what has worked in other states, because if you're talking about the Wild West, Florida, Ohio, California, Nevada, these places are the Wild West. Some of these kids are getting outrageous single contracts, and it ruins a team. Right. It ruins a league. So how do you – we're in the middle of the country. We've already shown the whole country we could do what we want by elections and everything else. So why are we not addressing it head on?
John is the best person to answer this. He was on the school board. He has seen athletics for how many years? So, I mean, the point's going to be you can't just do one. And to Joe's point about, or Pishker's point, you just can't do one thing. Otherwise, you've got pressures on everything. You got tennis, you've got softball, football. Like there's all sorts of different
other extracurriculars. For instance, the Munster Booster Club. Everybody thinks the Munster Booster Club is athletics.
Right.
It's not. It's all extracurriculars. They raise money for all extracurriculars.
Robotics team.
Yes.
Hey, everybody gets a trophy.
No, not everybody gets a trophy. Munster gets a trophy.
And you have to balance that because
I'll drive people crazy saying that, but
that's okay. But everyone, I mean, not everyone's an athlete. And not everyone's super smart and getting 35 on their ACT.
You still have to perform in the field.
Yeah.
You know what? One of the things that's lost here, and maybe Cimino, you could chime in on this, is that how many of these coaching positions are getting a little difficult to fill?
Oh, a lot of them.
Right.
Yeah.
Money is one. And a zillion hours you got to work.
Time.
Right?
You took words right out of my mouth. Time
and money. Yeah. Cimino, did you even consider going in and being a coach? Oh wait, how do I turn you on there? All right, keep talking.
You can talk this one.
It is. Right. So the thing with the coaching positions is, especially in the region, actually, there's been a lot of turnover recently, but the quality of coaches that happened with the turnover, I think, you've seen go up. Whiting specifically is a school that I can talk about because I did coach there as an assistant coach for a little bit. And I think they went through literally, I think, like 5 coaches in 3 years.
In what sport?
In football specifically. Yeah. So I agree with Doherty. I mean, the biggest thing is time, right? Who's going to give their program the most amount of time, and those are going to be the most successful ones that I think you'll see. And you'll see the boosters or people donate to those kind of programs because you're going to see the uptick in performance with more people, with more time being spent with those programs. Because especially in high school, I mean, you don't get paid a ton. I think
stipend.
You get stipend. I think I made $3,000 at my season with Whiting.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. I mean, it was fun. It was good money, but it's a lot more time than you would think for $3,000.
But Doherty just said that a booster can't give money to the football program.
No, I didn't say that. I said a booster couldn't pay a single team, and put in that kind of money. Because the different teams at the different high schools, they raise money from individual boosters all the time. But when you're talking about a sudden influx of a massive amount of cash to one program, the people that run the school district or run the diocese are going to look sideways at that and say, stop for a minute.
How did IU win the national championship?
NIL.
Mark Cuban.
Mark Cuban paid the quarterback.
Yeah, everybody's happy. We were happy. We had record listenership on WJOB when we had to
talk to the IU staffers who got laid off a year ago.
Exactly, but
they aren't
Cuban wasn't going to give money that filtered down to the girls' tennis program.
That's true.
You know what I mean? So Cubans wants to give.
IU is not Andoran High School. The mission is completely different.
Well, I guess you got to think you got to put borders on everything, right? So I guess if you would want to donate to a single team, right, you can make it like, if you want to do a single team, that's $10,000. If you want to donate to the entire sports program, it's got to be this X amount of dollars.
But again, there's got to be guardrails.
Okay, so let me give you a hypothetical, and we'll take your calls in a second. Munster, you've been around there for a long time. Whoa, sorry. I have too. And I know a lot of football players that have made a lot of money, right? They don't give any money back to the programs. Or, they're just not associated with it. And I've talked to Mike about it, and how do we do that, right? I'll tell you one way you do that is you put something together that is a football backing program, and give me $10,000 for Munster football in honor of John Friend. How many rich dudes have come out of that program? Several hundred, right? What do you do in that situation? They want to give that $10,000 to Munster football. I'm asking you, John Doherty.
That would be a tough negotiation on how to handle that. And actually, to a degree, it has been done. I know the Munster Athletic Department was raising money specifically for the Munster football outdoor football facility. So that has Tom Largus's name on it.
That's different. That's a project.
Right.
I'm talking about somebody that wants to just say, raise money for Bishop Knoll basketball. Yes or no?
And you can make anything a project. You can make anything a project. And so you just make it your project. I'm going to help Bishop Knoll basketball. But you can, to the caller, a couple callers ago said, if you want it to happen, you can make it happen. Whether it's in the guardrails or outside the guardrails, I don't. To me, in high school, I don't care, and even probably college, you put guardrails. There's always people that are going to extend those guardrails,
and they're going to push on them,
and they're going to extend it and go, well, this really isn't a package. This is a donation gift. I think alumni should give back to their schools. I think, but as John said, he's been on the school board. You can't ignore the other aspects. We're just talking high school here, the other aspects. And maybe we talk college a little bit, where he brought up the fact that administrators are now, you can look at it all over the country. Administrators are eliminating programs, degrees, and saying, well, I only got X amount on my pie, so now what am I going to pay it towards? And it's going to get squeezed. And so he said the administrators at IU got pushed out or eliminated. Good. I'm glad that IU got their national championship and they can wear their candy stripes all they want. But at the end of the day, what are we doing?
219-84. We'll get you on that one, too. Hey, I think this is how you bring in a phone call.
Well, you just had talk. Hello.
Hello, this is Ralph.
Hi, Ralph.
Hello.
Hi, Ralph.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I know who you are. Go ahead.
You guys touched on some of the things I was going to talk about. I think colleges are taking their eye off the ball in a lot of this stuff. You have, all this money going to athletics, and the primary focus of a higher education institution is education. And like many of you, like you said lately, that there's programs being dismissed. For instance, Valparaiso University took away their law school, but they're finding millions of dollars to make sure that their basketball program is competitive. So there's got to be, I think it's shifted way too much to sports, and somehow these institutions, along with the boosters, need to figure out if there's not a school there to educate people, then there's not going to be a sports program there to entertain them. So it's these people that are putting in this money have to look at it in a different light as well. So
what's going to happen in high school?
I think it could. I believe it could happen the same way in high school. If college is crazy with this NIL and the kind of money these kids are making, and there's no loyalty anymore. It's crazy.
And we need to remember why these institutions are there.
To both of you and Doherty, Ralphie, is that my point on this is probably pretty much the same point that I make at the sportsmanship committee meeting, and I run into static on the line sometimes, is that these changes are happening. They're going to happen anyways, and that we can't just say, well, let's protect the purity of high school sports without understanding the reality of some families needing some money. Kids that could be working at Costco are at football practice for 5 hours a day, watching film and going to practice. They're not getting any money off of that, right?
I hope they're not doing it 5 hours a day.
Oh, come on. In some of these programs, and it in season is a lot of hours. There are businesses that want to sponsor, or rich individuals that want to sponsor a specific program. Programmatic sponsorship, in my mind, is kind of the way to go that has worked in other states. Individual sponsorship is when you get the real problems. That's my take on it. What about you, Ralphie?
I'd agree with that. But also, I think Bishop Knoll took the right route.
Push everything on, do it all illegally.
Oh, wait a minute.
No, I mean, before NIL, I'm not going to say that happened.
Compete.
I'm kidding with that, and that.
No, they've been struggling to compete. Yeah. Well, they've been struggling to compete at, in football and baseball and other areas over the last several years, but they were investing in their academics, and they did. They built a strong foundation within their school.
They have.
Now that's
Paul
in
Mulaney's
place,
done a great job,
and they're growing there. They're growing there. A number of people that are going to school there. Now they can concentrate on the athletic portion of it. It's just the way you approach it, and I think Bishop Knoll has done the right thing.
I agree.
Focusing on academics.
All right,
first.
man. Thank you, Ralphie. I didn't mean that. I was just joking about the.
It's okay. It doesn't hurt me.
No, I'm saying that for Dan. Dan was saying that people had jobs that he wasn't sure that people went to, and I don't think it was really that.
Yes, it was. I'm not going to deny it.